morning to everybody. It is still morning in Vienna. Where are my guys at? Where are my homies at? Want to know where you guys at? So this morning we are going to discuss misinformation in religion. That's what we are going to discuss this morning. We are going to discuss religion. But before we begin, I would want you to like and share. That's how we do it on our side. That's how we do it here. Good morning to everybody. Lady, I forgot the name. The name just came and went. Good morning to you. Sylvester Ubianke, good morning to you. Paul by Waters is in the building. I see his likes and shares. So as you join us, let's go. Like and share. Let's see what we can achieve this morning. Paul by Waters, I see you. You've got to show a brother love. Show a brother love, please. Show a brother love. And how are you going to show a brother love? By liking and... Sparky is in the building. Sparky is in the building. Glow up. Good morning. Is it grow up or glow up? Well, but good morning to you. Glow up. Good morning. Well, I've got my people in the building. All my guys are here. I got them here. All my guys are here. Soldier Boy is in the building. Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy. So as you join me, like and share, bring him. We are going to discuss religion this morning, man. That's it. Let's discuss religion. Nzemba, Kana, you are here. Okay, I see you. Welcome. Nzembe, man, this my eyes. They say I am old. Man, I'm not actually old. I'm still a young man, but I can see, I can read and see very well. I can read out alphabets. All these guys that are saying I'm an old man, what are you going to call me when I get to 90 years? Because I'm going to reach 90, 100 self. All these guys that are saying is it because you want me to shave these beards? Do you guys want me? This is my trademark. You know what is trademark? You say I'm an old man. Is it because you are seeing a real man here? You want me to shave these beards? Eh? Man. Patrick Martins is in the building. My signature now, how? How can I change? Man, this morning we are going to discuss misinformation in religion. False religious doctrines. That's what we are going to discuss this morning. I've got my homies in the building. Man, my fan base, TikTok fan base is amazing. This fan base, they are amazing. YouTube too. I don't know what is with Facebook. It seems there are some bad people. I don't know, don't get me wrong. Mr. Cord. Mr. Cord, I see you. You need to tell us where they called you now. Mr. Cord, which area did they call you? Are you called by anybody this morning? All these people that I said God called them, this morning we are going to touch it. I want to know who called you. You say your name is Mr. Cord. We need to know who called you. This is why we are here this morning. You need to gist us who called you. Mr. Cord, tell us who called you. So guys, let me wait a little bit. Silver Shadow is in the building. Okay, your real name is Abel. Just joking. You know what I mean? I know your name is not Mr. Called. Because I wondered who called you. If it is, well, we are going to go there this morning. I'm in the mood. I am in the mood to talk this morning. So guys, you're welcome. Like and share, bring in more people. Lady Paris. Is that Lady Paris? Spirited. I'm live streaming from Vienna, Austria. The most popular man in Vienna is what you are seeing here. I'm streaming from Vienna, Austria. You got it. Since you are seeing me for the first time, then subscribe to my channel instantly. Mr. Cod, you are live in Graz. Okay, I came to Graz a few years ago when, when I was driving. Then sometimes there were times I had passengers that went to Graz. Jackson Taha, good evening from New Zealand, very far away. New Zealand, man. The end part of the world. New Zealand, man, that place is too far. New Zealand, very far. New Zealand, Australia, man. This takes like 2 days to get there. This is another part of the world. New Zealand. Mr. Cod, yes, Graz was, I used to come there, but I'm a Viennese. Vienna is my city. This is where I'm rooted here. Vienna for life. N23. You see, guys, so 21st district. Now be say that means N23. You are in 21st district. Okay. Florisdorf. Okay. She has blonde hair and she's doing what to me? She has blonde hair. Me, I myself, I have blonde hair too. Look at my own blonde hair. See here, I have blonde. You see this thing? This blonde gray beards. This is blonde hair too. Temba Cole is in the... Good morning, Temba Cole. Good to have you here. This is blonde hair. So guys, good morning to you. I'm doing good. I woke up happy this morning. This morning I slept enough, This night, I don't usually sleep very well, but this past night, I slept very well. That's why you see me in a good mood. Yesterday, I was so depressed, like, I wanted to go live. I felt so like, man, what's going on? I said, but then people are looking up to me. I need to ginger up. Rosie Obaide, that's my sister there. Good morning to you. Rosie Obaide, beautiful sister of mine. If you see how I love my Edo sisters, the sisters, so I don't know, only the sisters. I don't joke with Edo sisters. Very good people. My Edo sisters, I don't joke with them. Yes, so anywhere I see Edo sister, I put my hand on the back and greet them respectfully. I love these sisters of mine. Yes, I'm telling you the truth. Edo sisters, I love these people so much. Yes, so those are my sisters. So guys, welcome to my breakfast show. Here we go. Well, what I am about to say now is my opinion, and I'm here to share my thoughts with you. Ginger, good morning to you. That's my own sister from Netherlands. Jackson Taha, thank you so much. God bless you too. You see, Jackson Taha said, God bless me and my family. God bless you too. What you sow, you reap. You wished me well, and you will be well. You will receive favor too. That is as simple as that. So guys, good morning to everybody. This morning we are going to discuss religion. You know how we do it on our side. Let me tell you, no matter how nice you are to me, I will not fail to speak the truth. No matter how good we are, I will come here to enlighten people. Yes. I can't take because we are friends or we are good and then fail to speak the truth. There are so many misinformations in all these religious books. All these stories told in religious books, both in Hindu, in Quran, in Bible, in Torah, were written by men. That was their own idea of God. They combined it with the events that happened in those days. Nobody, no human being has seen God. There is no human being on earth that has seen God. And God did not speak to anybody. Listen to me. This is me talking now. God did not speak to anybody. All these people that are telling you that they are prophets in the Bible, in the Quran, that God spoke to them, nobody spoke to nobody. I know some people don't like to hear the truth. In what language did God speak to them? That is number one. We are going to come to that. Again, if you go to all the religious books, they referred to God as man. They said God's gender is male. Listen to me very well. They said God's gender is male. That is a lie. Nobody has. How can you tell us that God is a male gender, a man, when nobody has seen him? Now let me go further to tell you misinformation in religion. God is a spirit, and spirits have no physical form. You cannot touch spirits. You cannot see spirits. Even they said God is a spirit. Those who will worship him will worship him in truth and in spirit. Now, when you say God is a man, when you refer to him as he, listen to me. When you say God is a man, that means God has physical form. That is man. He is physical. So if God is a man, that means he eats. Because everything that has physical form eats, lives, have body. If you tell us that God spoke to you, that means God has mouth. Listen, if you tell us that God is a man, that God is a he, as you say, that means God has mouth. And what is mouth meant for? To eat and to speak. Now listen, let's go further. I'm here you've got this program is for highly intelligent people. You don't just, people wrote the books, religious books, handed it down to you, over to you. You did not even think. If God is a man, if he is a he, that means he has male organ. Because they described God as a man. You understand me? That means because men, you identify men by the male features. If God is a man, that means he has male organ. And what is male organ used for? You know it. I don't need to say much. If God is a man, that means he has physical form. That is, he's a male. And if he's a male, he must have male organ. And that means God urinates, which is unlikely. That means, you know what I mean now. He will be having erection because he has male organ. So anybody that told you, anybody that told you that God is a man lied to you. There is nobody that can tell you specifically, that can tell you the gender of God. That is number one. Nobody has seen him. How can you? Spirits that have no physical form cannot speak. Before you can speak, you must have mouth. You got the gist now. You must have mouth. So, when they tell us that they referred to God as God, he is a man, God, he. I said, at the time I sat down and I said, listen, if God is a man, that means he would have a wife. Yes. If he's a man, you see, that is why I came out here for us to discuss false religious doctrines, misinformations in religious books. If he is a man, that means he must have where he lives. He must have a physical structure, house where he stays. Yes. If he is a man, that means he must have where he lives, where he goes to toilet, where he urinates. That makes him human. Are you getting the point now? And all humans, what happens to human beings? All humans are subject to die one day. Every living thing dies. So God is not a man. He's a spirit which nobody has seen him. Yes, every living thing dies. At a time, there is no living. So if you refer to God as a man, that means he will one day, because why do you eat food? You eat to live. Is that not? So if he's a man and he has physical body, that means he needs to be sustaining his body by eating food. Are you getting the gist now? If he's a man, that means he has to be drinking water to sustain his physical body. And he has to be eating food. You see false religious doctrines. So did they hand over these stories to us, believing we have no brain to think? Look at the stories they told us in the Bible, in the Quran. I've not read the Hindu on this. They told you the snake spoke to Eve in the Garden of Eden. How come the snake spoke to Eve? In which language? In which language did they? Man, let's think critically now. And what happened after? Why did snakes stop speaking? So they only spoke in the Garden of Eden. But they did not tell us in the language the snake spoke to Eve. You got it now. They told you that the donkey spoke in the Bible. Snake spoke. Let's go further. This one is, see, this one I cannot be part, you see, I'm not reading comments. I cannot be deceived by anybody. And this is the problem African people have. They handed over a book to you. You don't question that book. An animal spoke. An animal spoke to Eve. What happened after? What stopped that animal to speak further? You see all the stories we were told in the Bible and in the Quran, that God spoke to the prophets, spoke to them in which language? I want you to answer me now. I told you now that God has no physical form, so God is not a man. If he speaks, that means he has mouth. And if he has mouth, that means he is human. God has no physical form. So how did he speak to the prophets? In which language did he speak to the prophets? In which language did he speak? Tell me what language he spoke to the prophets. Let's begin with from there. Nobody is answering me. In which language did God speak? He said speaking, he spoke in tongues. What is tongue? Is that in which language? Somebody said Arabic language. That means if you say Arabic language, that means he's Arabic God. If you say he spoke in Arabic language, that means this is God of the Arabians, God of Arabs. Why didn't he speak in my language? Okay, after speaking to those prophets, after speaking to, why is he no longer speaking now? So he spoke to them like thousands of years ago. After that, he stopped speaking. Hebrew. Somebody said he spoke to them in Hebrew. That means he's a Hebrew God. That means that God they told you in the Bible or in the Quran is Hebrew God. He spoke Hebrew language. Somebody said Aramaic. Aramaic, he spoke, that is God of the Arameans. You see, God is a spirit. You cannot see him, and he cannot even limit himself. How come all his activities were limited at a region, only the Middle East? All the activities only happened. God is, if there is anything like that, God is a spirit, you cannot see him. All what? So now let's. I don't want to rush this broadcast. Some of you said he spoke in Arabic language. You see confusion. Some said he spoke in Hebrew language. Some said he spoke in Aramaic. Now, if he spoke, you see confusion. If he spoke in Arabic language, that means you are worshiping Arabic God. God of the Arabs. If he spoke in Hebrew language, that is, he's God of the Hebrews. How about your own God? How about African people wake up? How about your own God? How come God, who is supposed to be a universal God, is unable to speak African language? Why didn't he communicate to people of Africa? Because he is supposed to be a universal God. Why didn't he? So he limited himself. A universal God limited himself to Middle East. Why didn't he speak to African people? You see, he did not speak any African language. He should come and speak to us. So after speaking to these people in Middle East, he became dumb. He stopped speaking. I'm asking you, so after speaking to those prophets, what happened? He stopped speaking. You see the problem people have. Because you don't think. If he had spoken in my language, if you are telling me that he spoke to my ancestors, I will know that, yes, this is our own God. God that, preferred a particular race or region. You got it now. Okay, let's go further. Let's go. I want smart people in these platforms. Let's go further. I told you that God has no gender. Have it in mind. God is neither male or female. He has no gender. And God is not limited to one place. God did not favor. He has no, what's it called? Chosen people. There is nothing like chosen people of God. You were scammed. A universal God cannot choose a particular tribe or race and favor them specially. Men, wake up. Say God's chosen people. What about us? So he forgot African people. This is why a lot of you, they told you Bible stories. Let me go there. I've said it before. Let me repeat it again. They told you Bible stories. They said when the Israelites were in captivity in Egypt, listen, when the Israelites were in captivity in Egypt, after 400 years, they cried unto God. God heard their cry and delivered them from captivity in Egypt. Now let's go. God delivered the children of Israel from captivity in Egypt. When Africans were being enslaved, where was God? Slavery lasted for over 400 years. When Africans were being enslaved, why didn't God deliver the people of Africa? Even when they were carrying African people as slaves, colonizing them, did you know how many people? Did you know how many Africans that were thrown overboard, that died in the sea? Where was God when African people were being colonized, being enslaved? Where was he? Why didn't he intervene? So he chose to intervene in the case of the Israelites. How about us? How about us? Why didn't God intervene when the African people were being enslaved? Did you know how many hundreds of years that Africans were enslaved? Are you listening to me now? How come the angels that are God's angels are all bearing English names? When did English language began? How come angels, how can God, the angels of God, be answering Michael, Gabriel? Look at the names. How can God's angels be answering Michael? All of them are white people. Have you ever seen where they depicted an angel of God as an African man? Wake up. Have you seen where they depicted an angel as an African man? Have you seen it before? See the names. Angel Gabriel, Angel Uri, Angel Michael. And what is it? No angel has African name. No angel has Philippine name. No Chinese name. No Japanese name. And all the angels, no female angel. All the whole angels are male. Have you heard about female angel? No angel there is male, is female. Angels, they drew angels for you. So that means angels have physical body and they are male. If angels have physical body, that is, they are male, that means they must have male organ. Are you getting the point now? That means angels have male organ if they are male, because they depicted the angels as all male. No female. Do you know anybody, any male being that has physical body, the body must have, if you have physical body, you must have erection. You must be having erection. So what's going on? Who told you that story? You see racism in religion. African people, wake up. A people, created their own religion, and you are following it. A people, the Hebrews, the Arabs, and the rest, So they created their own religion. That's their own thoughts and imagination. Their own concepts of God. I have my own concepts of God. You cannot tell me I will sit somewhere in Okporo. I will sit somewhere and I'll be calling on God of Israel or God of the Arabs. I am sitting or standing in my father's land and I'll be calling on God of other people, God of another nation where I have never been. That is colonial mentality. That is, I cannot be living in Austria here and be calling on God of Israel. What business do I have with Israel? I cannot be living here and be calling on God of Mecca, God of Arabs. What business do I have with them? How about my own God? God of Israel. I'm calling on, you'll be calling on God of Jacob, Isaac, and which Jacob and Abraham. Which Jacob is your father's name, Abraham? Don't your father, your ancestors, don't they have God? When did Christianity begin? When did Islam begin? Africans wake up. These people told their own stories, you embraced it. I cannot operate on other people's religious doctrine. I cannot operate on other people's religious doctrine, what was handed over to the people of Africa. That means, let me say it now, who brought this religion? You see, the Arabs came with Islam, and Europeans came with Christianity. So if Indians had colonized Africa, if Indians had invaded Africa, that means today you will be a Hindu or a Buddhist. Today you will be a Hindu or a Buddhist and you'll be defending Hindu religion or Buddhist religion. If Chinese people had invaded Africa and colonized Africa, today you will be worshiping Buddhist. You'll be a Buddhist believer. You see Africa. Anywhere, you don't question. Here, I question things. I question. You cannot come here at this age. You tell me kindergarten stories and I believe you. They told you that the first word, they told you that God destroyed the first world with water flood. And Noah had to build an ark. Noah built an ark. And in that ark, Noah assembled all the living creatures, all the animals inside that ark. How did Noah bring in shark inside the ark? How did Noah ants? How did he know the male and female ants? How? How did Noah bring in whale? Dolphins inside the ark? How did they survive? How did shark survive inside that ark? They told you stories and you don't question it. He brought all the living creatures. Look at sea animals. African people wake up. Because some religious, why should they be telling you guys stories and you don't question it? Sometimes I wonder. You that is watching me now, can you differentiate between ants, male and female ants? Did you know how many sea animals we have? How many sea animals? Sea lions. How did they survive? Inside the ark that Noah built. Which water? How did Noah, who carried that? You know how big, well, shark is. That fish. How did he carry dolphin and shark inside the ark? Did Noah build any special swimming pool? Water. Which water did those shark, well, those sea animals, which water did they live in? What did they eat? So, when they tell you, Noah, you say, Noah had sons. So he went to the Atlantic Ocean and brought out shark. Okay, when he brought out shark and whale and dolphin, where did he build, which water they survived in inside that shark, inside that ark? Somebody said they survived, Brick said they survived. Somebody said on YouTube they survived spiritually. You see, it says spiritual survival. You see, Briggs Victor said they survived spiritually. Did you know there are so many animals? Cobra, black mamba. Do you know? Man, in fact, African people, you need to wake up. You just need to wake up. Use your brain and think at times. Today, now let's go further. After scamming people, they did not scam me. I was scammed before. I was scammed before, but nobody is going to scam me again. Now, man, I was scammed before, and nobody is going to scam me anymore. After all those fairy tales, they reformed the story. They told you all these areas, Israel, Mecca, and the rest of that region, they are holy land. They say it's holy land. All these places, they told you, you see the game, they told you all those places are holy land. God limited himself or herself to a particular place. They told you it's holy land. Since I was born, listen to me now. Since I was born till today, that region has not known peace. Since I was born till now, that region they call Holy Land, that places you call Holy Land, has no peace. But see Africa, Africa is the Holy Land. Africa is the Holy Land. This is that promised land, that holy, Africa is Holy Land. They made you, They made you hate your own land, your own continent, and saw another people's land as a holy land. Look at, you go to pilgrimage in another man's land, considering that place a holy land. The place you call holy land has no peace. Every day, war. People, do you know how many blood they have shed in these places? War. The region that has fought the highest war in life is that Middle East. Till today, there is no peace there, and you call it Holy Land. Holy Land, you call it Holy Land, a place where there is no peace. How can a place that is always at war be a holy land to you, African people? African countries that are peaceful, it's not. Look at now, they are fighting. Iran and Israel now they are going to war. No peace there, you call it Holy Land. You still see war going on, you still call it Holy Land. Brainwashed people. How can a place that is at war every minute be a holy land? See, even deserts, you got it right. Deserts, where nothing is happening, you call holy land. This is how Africans are. I mean, even African, this is why I tell you, you need to change all these governments we have in Africa. All these leaders we have in Africa, we need to remove all of them. These people budget money. Let me take it cool now. These African governments budget money, bring out money, pay citizens, Christians and Muslims. They go to this place and spend that money in the name of going to religious pilgrimages. Money that they are supposed to use and develop their own countries. Build infrastructures. They will spend that money, give to the city, say they are going to a religious pilgrimage. The place you are calling going for religious pilgrimage is better than your own country. They have used you to develop these countries. The money you are bringing in is more than even oil money. The money they are getting is more than that natural resources you have in your countries. You got it? You have created jobs, helped all these countries to develop. Why your own continent, you don't consider Holy Land, is going down. Your own country is going down. When you go to religious pilgrimage, you spend all the money there. You create jobs, hotels, everything will be going, business will be booming in these holy lands. They take all what you know, all what you have, and they are building their own. After, if you go there, they deport you. They are creating their own heaven here on earth. When you get there, after, if you overstay, they deport you, they send you back to your jungle. Money you are supposed to use to build, develop your own country, you are giving it to where you consider Holy Land. Some people that tell you they are Muslim clerics or they are Christian pastors or whatever. What is it? Imams and the pastors, all these people. They go there, you go to Mecca, you go to Israel to go and pray. So if you pray in your own land, your God will not answer your prayer. You must have to go there to pray. You see, African mentality. You have to go to another man's land to pray before God will answer your prayer. So if you pray in your own land, in your own town, in your own country, God will not answer. You need to pay flight tickets. Hey! So you need to pay flight tickets, travel to another man's country, stay in hotel, spend all your money before God will answer your prayer. If you pray in your land, if you pray in your village, if you pray, so God will not, you need to travel abroad to Holy Land before God will answer. Hey! You see it? I tell you, why don't they the world should be becoming pilgrimage in Africa? We need, you see, this is a scam. They designated, they brought out a country, said this events happened here. That is, why don't they consider Ghana, Nigeria, and say all the things happened? God spoke to the people of Ghana, the people of Kenya, Uganda. So God did not speak to anybody there. He spoke only to the people. In the whole Nigeria, God did not speak to anybody. In order for us to have our own holy land in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Uganda, after speaking to those prophets in the Bible, he became dumb. He stopped speaking. So, after that, no other prophets came now. No, we never born any prophets again. He only spoke to those prophets and stopped speaking. You don't want to wake up. All the angels, all these angels, they told you, the angels, all these pictures of angels that so since that, God has not chosen any black angel till today. Those angels he chose then. Those angels, with long hair that looks European, like white people. Till today, God has not chosen any black man as an angel, no black woman. So till today, he has the whole Africa, the whole black people in US, the whole black people. God has not seen any black person to make an angel till today. The same angels since that time are the angels. Men, wake up. Are you guys children? Are you children? He has not considered any African man to make an angel, no African woman to make an angel. All the angels he shows are Europeans or light-skinned people with long hair. If you come with religion, if you near me with that all those religion, don't near me with Islam or Christianity or Hindu or anything. You need to wake up, ask questions. Ask questions. Till today, he has not considered any black man, any African to make an angel. You are literally worshiping white people, Europeans. You don't know. They projected that image. You are worshiping European people as gods. And the Arabs. Don't you know that religion is a tool they use to colonize even people? What's going on now in Africa? What names are we answering? Go to Africa. The missionaries that came to Africa, they came. All our native names, they gave us baptismal names. So if you are answering your native name, God will not answer your prayer. If you are answering, they gave John, Stephen. How did African people begin to answer English names? How did African people begin to answer Arabic names? Go to Africa. Our Muslim brothers and sisters, our Christian brothers and sisters, which name are they answering? Arabic names and Hebrew names or English names? What is baptism in Christian religion? They come, they give you another name. That name they gave to you is English name. John, Stephen, African, our... Story plenty. You did not know that these people want to make you servants. They did not consider your native name anything. Your native name does not mean anything to them. That is why every African now has either Hebrew or English name. Every African person has Arabic name. What is Allah? Allah is Arabic name for God. Arabic God. Allah. What is God? Are you not saying it? Don't you have a name you call your own God in your own native language? You call Allah. Allah is Arabic name for God. Arabic, the word for God. Allah. This is Arabic God. Jehovah. What is Jehovah? Is Hebrew name for God. A people's language. They spread the message, you embraced it, and you became part of it. You follow this religion that does not belong to you. Today, you see Africans, they pray in Arabic language. Well, how about your own native language? Why don't you pray in your own native language? Yes, it's me, RODDY, saying it. Why don't you? And many my Muslim people are praying in Arabic language today. So if you pray in your native language, God will not hear you. Nobody will hear your prayer. So many Africans now go to Sudan, to Egypt to go learn Arabic. How many Arabs are coming to Africa to learn your language? You see how colonized, how daft African people are. See, African people now go to learn Arabic languages. After you said they colonized you, that is a form of colonization now. You colonized yourself. Offended, that's why we are suffering. That is why they don't respect us. Ophelia, that's why, because nobody follows us. We are the followers. We follow people. We follow other people's religion, other people's culture, other people's way of everything we follow. Nobody, the Chinese are not ready to follow you in any way. The Europeans are not ready. They consider you inferior. The Arabs are not ready to follow you. We made ourselves sheep. We follow everything they introduce to us. We embrace it. We don't question anything. Even as I'm making this video, some ignorant fellows will be arguing. They don't know this life is about you. What is power and control? That is life. This life is about power and control. Dominate. That is it. And look at Africa today. If it is psychological warfare, they applied it on the people of Africa. Dominate them. Cage their mentality. See, let me go further now. Ophelia, before you treat, how can you treat them the same way? Listen, let me talk to you now. How can you be, for you to have superior mentality, you need to first of all forget religion. What was written in these religious books? When they told you that a particular people are God's chosen people, they told you in the Bible, in religious books, that a particular region or a particular people are God's chosen people. So the rest are not God's chosen people. So you feel, you worship the people that God chose, which God chose a particular people. You get the gist now. They made themselves superior, that we are God's chosen people, God's own. So they are not telling you, you are not God's own. So how are you going to? Already they have caged your mentality. They made you, they gave you that inferiority mentality that you are not God's own. They are God's people. That's why African people consider those places, these countries as holy land. You go there to pray. Say that is where they are God's people. You get the gist now. That's why you see Africans are considering, say these are chosen people, God's chosen people. Christians go to Israel and Muslims go to Mecca. They told you that's where the events happened. How do we liberate ourselves from this mental slavery? How do we free our minds? That's the truth. When you consider others superior to you, God's people, another people's land is holy land. Your land, when you don't consider your own country as a holy land, your country, you don't see it as a holy, where God dwells. You don't see yourself as God's own. It's other people you see as God's chosen people. You see other people's land as holy land. It is finished now. Mental slavery. You are caged. The people are caged mentally. You don't finish. It is finished. And there are people that are ready to fight you. If you come to open their eyes, there are people that are out to fight you. So, people that are living in America, you see what religion did. Let me take it cool. Guys, as you watch me, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube page at Uncle Roddy. Follow me on this page now, on this TikTok page. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Let's go. Follow me now. Let's go. I cannot labor in vain. Follow these pages. How can you see what religion did to you? How can you be living in Canada, be living in Nigeria, Ghana, in Liberia, you are living in Uganda, in US, in Japan, and you'll be calling on God of Israel? You see, you are not calling God of Japan. You are not calling God of Nigeria. You are calling God of, that is Israeli God. You see the brainwashing. You see it. You are in Japan and you are calling on God of other people. You will be calling on God of Mecca, God of this, God of the Arabs. You are standing. If you are living in a country like Nigeria, that land, that soil feeds you. You are surviving in that land. If you are living in South Africa, you are surviving. South African land is feeding you. You are surviving from the land. And you are not calling on the God of the land, the God of South Africa. You see the brainwashing. The land that is feeding you, that is fertile, you plant crops and it grows and feeds you. You don't appreciate the God of that land. You are appreciating God of Israel, God of Mecca. While the food you are eating is from your village, and you are not appreciating the God of that village. Man, you guys, you need to wake up. The water you are drinking, everything that you survived from, came from your ancestral land. You don't appreciate the God of that land. You are calling the God of Arab people and the God of Hebrew people as African people. And you are ready to fight anybody. The hymns, ancient and modern. When I was in secondary school, ancient and modern, a lot of you sang that hymns in secondary school. The hymns we sang in secondary school, what songs were written in it? The songs were about Israel. We were in Africa. Most of the songs talked about Israel and Jerusalem. You see, the colonizers, these missionaries came to finish Africa up. Yes. There was one song we sang there. Jerusalem, my happy home, when shall I see you again? One of the songs. Now when I stay on my own, I'll be thinking, Jerusalem, my happy home. I remember, if most of you, Jerusalem, my heart, you are living in Africa, they gave you a hymn, and you are singing about Jerusalem being your happy home. Not your village, you see, they made you forget your roots, look down on your own. I don't sing these songs anymore. They say it's praises. They say, which kind of, that is brainwashed education, misinformation, false religious doctrines. Go to Africa. You see some Muslims even fight their own brothers because of religious beliefs. You consider another person inferior because it's not part of your religion. Christians, the same thing. Sometimes when I stay on my own, I remember the songs we sang when we were in school. Morning assembly, before we go to bed, ancient and modern, if you guys remembered. All the songs we were praising God about Israel. What is that? All the African people, all the thing is about Islam, Muhammad. We are supposed to have, and this is why Africa can never, unless we wake up. Unless African people wake up, we have to wake up, do our own thing, believe in ourselves, appreciate our own land, call on the gods of our land. You are doing business. Let's come now. Let's look at it now. You are somewhere in Africa doing business, and your business is flourishing. You have a car, you have a house. And the God of the land that blessed you with riches, you have a wife, you have children. You don't appreciate, you don't praise that God. You are calling on God of Mecca. You are calling an Arabic God or Hebrew God. And in your country, in your native land, that's where you are progressing, where you were able to build a house, marry wife, raise your children, you don't call on these gods, the God of the land. You don't. I'm no longer part of that brainwashed religious doctrines. I'm no longer part of it. I cannot even, at the time I said to myself, in Africa then they say, God of Jacob. I'm calling on God of, how can you? What about your own God? You are calling on God of Abraham. Man, you are calling on another person's God, Abraham, Jacob, Ibrahim. How about, so you have no God? You are calling on another people's God, another person's God to come and solve your problem. So you have no God. You see self-defeat. They have defeated African people mentally already. Mental, that is psycho. They have defeated African people. Does it mean, I ask myself, don't I have God? Don't I have a God? Why should I be calling on other people's God? Where is my own God? Don't come near me with any religion. Don't come near me with any. You are completely brainwashed. How? If anything happens, oh my God, oh my God, oh my, people say it. Think, oh my, your own God, you have your own God. You are she. Now, how can your God be pleased when you left your God, you abandoned your God, and you are calling on other people God? It's like you calling God of Kingsley, help me. God of Stephen, help me. That means you are a loser. How about you? So you have no God. You have no God. That is self-defeat. You've already defeated yourself. If anything, I have to call on my God. God, how did I come? Even in the first place, God is an English word or Hebrew word. You see, that colonization, that brainwashing, God or Allah is Arabic language, God or Jehovah or whatever, Yahweh. Go to Christian churches. They'll be calling Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh is Hebrew. What of your own God? So another people's God, language. You are calling Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. What? So in your language, there is no, you don't have a name you call your own God. You have to, only when you call Yahweh, they answer your prayer. You see why Africa is abandoned. The gods of African people are annoyed. Gods of the land of, they are annoyed because you forsake your own God. You are in you are saying Yahweh, Yahweh. What is Yahweh in your language? Yahweh is Hebrew God. In your native language, you don't have a name that you call God. So if you call God in your native language, he will not answer you. If you call God in your native language, your prayer will not be answered. Hey! You see, people. You see it. It is only when you call on other people's God, other people's religion, you travel to Mecca and, man, I don't tire, man. I'm just waiting here. Today you see somebody, you unalive somebody because of religion. You don't know people's story. They say prophets, God spoke to them. People made themselves important. I'm a prophet. I am a prophet. They told you these people are prophets, you believed it. So your ancestors are not prophets that God spoke to. God did not speak to your ancestors. He spoke to other people's this thing. Nothing good happened, nothing. If anything good want to happen to Africa, they pull it down. They will tell you that it's fash, say it's not true. They always like to pull Africa down. Come with any African religion, they will dismiss it. Invent anything in Africa, they tell you it is inferior. Your language is inferior. Your traditional attire is inferior. Everything about you, they consider it inferior. So it's business, so that you follow them. It is business. Yes, this is what I consider. It is business. Guys, I'm not seeing follow here. I'm not seeing follow. Follow this page. Make we dey spread gospel. This, I am the person spreading the main gospel. See, let me tell you, nobody has seen God. Nobody. All those things they told you in the Bible, in the Quran, Bible, they're all stories. You cannot see God. He has no physical form. Why haven't you seen God since then? So after speaking to those prophets, he disappeared. He did not descend down. Why? He stopped speaking. He spoke that time and he stopped speaking. Why is he not speaking again? He stopped talking. Let him continue to talk to us. All these people that are in Africa telling you God called them, I want to know which voice, which language. How did he call them? Did they see him? God called them. Please, allow us to breathe. Allow us to breathe. Anybody that can speak, anything that can speak must have a physical form. If you just join us, you go watch this broadcast from the beginning. Do you understand me? Before anything can speak, it must have a physical form. Spirits are not human beings, so they have no mouth to talk. Guys, follow me on, subscribe to my, what is it called? YouTube channel. Support. What's going on, guys? You've got to follow this page, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Uncle Roddy, man. Let's go. Only Ophelia, only them God. Why has God stopped calling us? Now God is see. Who witnessed the calling? They wake up and tell you that God called them. Who were there? Who was, when and where? Who witnessed it? When did God speak? Meet, they tell you stories, you believe. God called. Somebody will wake up and tell you God called him. Jigar from London, I see you. You got the gist now. Guys, you can rewatch this broadcast. My name is Roddy. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Gone are the days they deceived us. Nobody can deceive us anymore. You understand me? You go to my bio, you will see my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm bringing in more stories today. Today is Friday. I'm not going anywhere. Today is Friday. This is weekend. So be ready. I'm coming out big time. 2-3 times today. You got it? There is nothing, all the whole stories they told you were all fairy tales from, I'm telling you, fairy tale. From the stories of angels and all these things. But there are spirit beings, which nobody can, no human is beyond human comprehension. There are spirit beings. These spirit beings, nobody, that is where that is supreme being that nobody can describe. Nobody has an answer to it. People just sat down and imagined things and wrote it down and handed it. Okay, why did they translate all those Quran, Bible? They have to translate it in your language. They have to translate it in your language. Their own idea, they have to spread it by translating it in your language so that you read. God has spoke to them. Why didn't God speak to us? He has to tell them to come and tell us. He should talk to us directly. He spoke to them. What stopped him from speaking to us, to me, and other people? He spoke to them. Then I will ask God, why did you speak to them? That means you are a partial God. Why did you speak to them? You need to speak to me too. Speak to my ancestors. You spoke to them and stopped. Speak to us. Let's have our own stories so that other people will be coming to pilgrimage in our countries and be bringing their money. You understand me? God should speak to us so that we tell our stories. Other people need to be bringing, we sit in our countries, in our villages, they will be bringing money, coming for pilgrimages in Africa. He has to speak to us now. Enough of that scam. You got the gist now. He has to speak to us to make it equal. You cannot speak to a particular people and stop there. You need to, it has to go round. It has to go round. He said he spoke to them. He, after 2,000 years, 3,000 years, after speak 5,000 years, he spoke to them and he stopped speaking. He just sat somewhere and be watching us. He need to prove it now. Prove it by speaking to us. Somebody will wake up one morning and say God called him. Called you in which language? So God that did not speak Igbo language or Yoruba language that time now is speaking to you in what language? Guys, I'm not seeing follow here now. I'm not seeing follow here. Ola, they claim they are supreme. This is how they scammed Africa. Africa, that's why black people are feeling inferior. They battled, this is what, okay, let me say it now. This is what is called war of the mind. War of the mind, psychological warfare. They made you, that's why they call black people N-word. You know what I mean? N-word. They did everything to put you down. Everything to put you down, to demoralize you, to make you lack confidence, to demoralize you, so that you be defeated. Be a follower, a servant, submissive. Follow our religion and you go to heaven. Follow our tradition and you go to heaven. Speak our language and you go to heaven. If you don't follow our religion, you go to hell. Scam. How many Chinese people are answering African name? How many Arabs are answering African name? How many Europeans are answering African name? Africans cannot wake up. Why should you always be submissive? Why should you always ready to obey? Follower. You are always the tail and not the head. And you want people to respect you. Okay, now let's go there. Can and sugar see? Let's go there now. This week, on Tuesday, did you guys know what's happened? Iran fired missiles, like 200 missiles to Israel. Last 2 weeks. 200 missiles. Filled Israeli sky. I don't know if Israel has responded. Now, when there is war in Middle East, do you see these people calling on any God? They don't call on Allah. They don't call on Jehovah or anybody. They manufactured their own weapons to defend themselves. Practicality. In war, you see the most powerful survives and defeats the weaker ones. In war, you see Israel and Hamas fighting war. They developed their own rockets and fight. African people, there is no God coming anywhere to help you or help you develop anything. You have for you to be respected, you need to develop your own weapons. You need to stand up and be humans like others. If you have no power, nobody will respect you. They will continue to bully people of Africa until you wake up. If you have no power, no military might, nobody, they manufacture these weapons, you buy. You are not manufacturing anything. You don't, no God will help. If they can decide to wipe Africa out. They can decide to wipe you because you are believing in God. God that will not be there to rescue you unless you help yourself. They can decide to wipe Africa out. They can decide to wipe you because you are believing in God that will not be there to rescue you unless you help yourself. They can decide to wipe you because you are believing in God that will not be there to rescue you unless you help yourself. They can decide to wipe you because you are believing in God that will not be there to rescue you unless you help yourself. do you think they bully African people? They know you have nothing. This heaven and earth is here. When you talk about paradise, it's here. It's about power. It's about power. It's about power. You think nobody will take you serious until you become powerful. Nobody will take you, any African people. You see how they disrespect African people everywhere. Nobody, they know you are toothless. You have no power. That is the reality now. Some African countries itself cannot even fight. They cannot even open their mouths. What do they have? What do they have? You see Pakistan and India. Pakistan, they have nuclear power. You can't bully them anyhow. You think it's a joke? Pakistan and India, they have nuclear power. Which African country has nuclear power? Which no one. Before they talk to Indians or Pakistanis, they'll be careful. They know it's fire for fire. Before they talk to India or Pakistan, they'll be careful. They cannot just bully these people anyhow because it's fire for fire. But which country in Africa? You are so religious. You African people, they don't know nothing. You got the gist now. You got the gist. Man, I'm not seeing follow here. Ophelia, that's it now. Why do you think they respect American citizens, European citizens? Because these countries are powerful. Japanese. Did you know Japanese? Are you what? Even North Korea. North Korea. You see that small North Korean boy, that small boy. That small boy that babs punk. What's the name of that North Korean president? That small boy. You don't joke with these people. North Korea. You see that small boy that babs punk? Kim. Yes. They are citizens. You don't. If you make anyhow, they go to the high sea and test their nuclear weapon. North Korea. You see, if they want the people, if you do anyhow, they go to the high sea and test their nuclear weapon. Everybody will quiet down. You see, so every time when they were having issue with America, that boy went to test their nuclear weapon. Everywhere stayed quiet. Which African country can do it? You have nothing. You think Jehovah or Allah or God will come and Kim Jong-un, that guy, that North Korean boy, even the very small boy, and they respect him. Have you seen any North Korean person that they bully anywhere in the world? Have you seen it? Even South Korea, even Japanese, only African people. Until you learn that this life is all about power. That's only when they respect you. That's heaven. In this life is about, there is no heaven. There is no hell. They scammed you. There is no heaven. There is no hell. Here on earth, be powerful and dominate. Here, be powerful and dominate, and people will respect you. You got it gist now. Well, guys, somebody made a request. You want to come up, then if you have anything to say, any reasonable thing to say, I don't want, if you have a reasonable contribution, I'll bring you up. You got it now. If you have a reasonable contribution to this program, you make a request. I'll bring you up. Somebody's talking about FPO. Liberal thinking, or make a request. I want so that people will hear from you. Liberal thinking, make a request. Make a request, let me bring you up. So, guys, if nobody makes a request, then I make a request. Now you see the button you press, or you want me to invite you? You want me to invite you or what? Make a request, I bring you up. Man, here on this platform, we said things the way it is. I open people's eyes. Don't believe in all those things they told you. Sylvia, no way. I see you, bro. Lady, are you a lady? You want me to? Oh, yeah, make a request now. Yeah, somebody has made a request. Liberal thinking. You made it. Okay. Here we go.
Thank you so much, sir, for this very interesting information. I think I'm so happy to come across this morning. This is very insightful. You know, like, we need to have more people talking about this. This is a kind of reality check, a kind of reawareness discussion. You know, when it has to do with how we conceptualize our mindset, that is what I call it, how we think of what we think. Sometimes we are seeking something, but we are not moving the pathway to get it. You know, I said it earlier through my message when you were talking, and it's like somebody was showering some dollars on me. That was how I was feeling, because this is very important to tell people that as much as you are thinking about a force, a kind of superior power elsewhere, you need to be able to connect directly this superior force to your own life. And that is why people have talked about existentialism. And you must do that concretely, which takes us back to what some people have called pragmatism. It has to be effective. It has to be connected concretely. So if I pick a stone now and I throw it at you, for instance, it hits you, you feel it. But when somebody says something will deliver you, and you have waited and you have not been delivered, instead of being delivered, that thing is being used again to recolonize you, to expose you, to render you vulnerable. And that is the problem we have in Africa generally. We have become victims of superior narratives. We have been compelled to accept what we do not even have power to control. Mm-hmm. What we could have controlled, actually, but what we have failed to control because we have been sensitive. I don't know how to put it, like we have been constrained and construed in a way that we are only confined to the periphery, to that micro space where we cannot think to solve any problem. You talked about something very interesting. You mentioned some powerful countries. Look at North Korea. North Korea does not even allow you to have access to any religious book.
Good.
And yet you don't have access to that. If you are caught with the Bible, you are in trouble. But look at how they are being respected when it has to do with this nuclear force.
Okay, let me come now. Let me come, please, before you go further. Now, did you know, excuse me, did you know in Israel, if you talk about Jesus, you go to 2 years in prison? Have you not heard it? Do you know? This in Africa, they tell you in Israel, if you talk about Jesus Christ and preach, you go to prison. If you preach about Jesus, it's a law. Ask anybody living there. And this is what African people are carrying in their heads, on their heads.
So I mean, sometimes
make it brief so that other people can speak,
okay,
please.
I'll quickly run it off. I've had this idea that if you look at even African religions, let's use African religion in this context, all of African religions or African gods were based on what they were doing. For instance, people began to worship Ogun because of what Yorubas could see as its effect, direct effects on their life. People decided to worship Shango then because they could see direct how powerful he was. It's not based on imagination, it was based on real action. People started worshiping the god of what we call Rishako in Yoruba, the god of vegetation, because people were getting big, big harvest at the end of the year. So there was a kind of evidence-based religious notion at that time, which is directly opposite of what we have now. Now it is a product of mental colonization, like you mentioned. It is very interesting that even if it's only one person that can be liberated with something like this, it is a plus. We need to continue to deplete that mindset of taking people, of recolonizing people by not allowing them to see the reality they live with. Thank you so much for doing this. This is very interesting. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Let's hear from the next person.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone.
You're welcome.
Very briefly, as a lot of Christian following Africans here, when I was a child, and the child of a mind is a beautiful mind, okay? When we start getting older, our mind gets distorted. But when I was a child, and I'll walk into the cathedral or the church, and I'll look at the pictures of the angels, they were all white angels. And I used to think, where are the people, where are the angels that look like me? This is a child, from a child's mind. And what I'll now say is this: any African who is looking for a religion to follow, right? If the person who started that religion does not look like you, that religion was not made for you. Plain and simple. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's hear from the next person, please.
Good afternoon, House.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ade, you hit exactly where I always thought about. In the Bible, we have Angel Gabriel, Angel Michael, and I've always asked myself, what happened to Angel Tunde? What happened to Angel Chinedu? Or what happened to, other African nations? So you can see that for me, from my perspective, this religion was not made for us Africans. We had our own religion before they came in with this. Like I always said, my belief is that they come with all this religious book that is translated in English, but we want to see a book in chemistry, in maths, that is translated in our own local language, because they've been able to translate these books in our local languages. Bible. Let's see a chemistry book, a physics book translated in Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. They want to keep us limited, and as long as we follow this path that is not our path, I think we're losing our identity as a people. Thank you.
Correct.
Official, sorry, sir. I just came to good day, sir. I just came to make a correction to official. Please, when making about Africans, we are not religious. African spirituality is not called religion. It's not a religion. Religion is a word used for enslaving, controlling, and taking hold of people. So we practice spirituality in Africa. We're not religious people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate this contribution. So you see, a lot of people are waking up. Even let us use our brains. When we say when you stay on your own, think all the stories you were told. How come? You understand me? The story of another people. Okay, let me come. Back then, we read what was it then, Seth? Christian religious knowledge or what? A Bible. I forgot the thing. In Bible knowledge or whatever they called it then, all what we read was stories about Abraham genealogy, Abraham's father, the genealogy of other people, the history of other people, the story of other people. That why should we be studying? What? This is why Africa is backward. You are studying in school the genealogy of Abraham.
Even our educational system does not have anything to do with our way of life.
Do you understand me? You understand that Ezekiel say Thomas said, what business do we have with Thomas and Stephen's story? The world left us behind. Story of that irrelevant stories. Man, I'm just tired.
Uncle, and one more thing, Uncle. Like most, if you ask 90% of Africans, their great grandfather, they don't know their names.
They don't know their name. They don't even know their stories.
Their great grandfather, their compound, where their compound originated from, they don't know.
Yes, exactly. They don't know. They don't know. And if you tell them, like, why are you telling us the story of Saint Paul's letter to the Philippines or Saint what this they consider you a pagan. They say you are.
They say they are spiritual things, but we live in the physical world. I'm sorry. You know, they say there are things of the spirit that a common man cannot understand. I stay here, I pay bills here, I drive a car, everything I do is physical. I don't live in the spiritual realm. I live in the physical world.
Yeah. They tell.
Sorry, I saw a comment. I saw a comment on the comment section from the Base Innovation School. African spirituality is the old model of religion. Please, and please, go and find the meaning of religion. Religion came from the word religa. Religa means to enslave, control, and imbibe people. So Africa have never enslaved. Africa have never been to
Bernard, mute your telephone. Somebody is talking, please.
Africa have never forced any tribe to take their spirituality as their own. So anything that you're being forced to accept is not a spirituality, rather it's called a religion. That is just it.
Yeah, I agree with Uchenna, though this is not a platform to argue out this point. I think my own concern has never been with the nomenclature, whether it's called, whether it is titled or is described as African spirituality or religion. My concern has always been the application of these foreign religions, the application of their impact on our various lives, on our daily lives. You know, like you say, you drive a car, you buy gas in your car, you are able to travel some distance. It is evidence-based. It is driven by fact. There's no way you can be hungry and then you begin to pray and you think that will bring food to your table. You have to get to work.
Yes.
You work, you get money, you get paid, you're able to do things in life. And once you have these principles of pragmatic results, you have solved your problems. Once you begin to think in action, not in imagination on abstract, you have taken a step to solve significant parts of your problem. And that can help us in totality. The same thing we do, we can't pray to change a system that is corrupt by praying alone. For instance, that will never work. We need to act. And that action is a product of response. Once you respond to your life objectively, based on fact, like Uchenna just mentioned the other time and the other man who left already, that is it. That's what I think about our life and how,
We want us to ask, when people are still indebted to this story that some certain day a man will come to this earth and come and take them to heaven. When people still listen to their pastors more than the God that they are being told to worship, I do want to ask, when people does not know their way of life, does not know their tradition, some people think we Africans, we write with alphabet. Some people does not know their historical way of life. People have been so indebted to this story of Jesus that they believe everything about this life is just about Jesus. That's why people came and told you that your jewelries is in heaven. Why them are taking your resources to go and build their own jewelries? How do you want us to push in to change the mindset of people when people have sworn with their life that till they die they will serve this Jesus? So how do
And one more thing I would like to contribute based on what I have seen. I'll take it back to Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria. From my own perspective, I think the major problem we're having in terms of development and moving forward as a people is religion. When you go about our everyday life, you walk on the street, you see that we don't have good road network. You see we lack basic amenities. And when you get to the church on Sunday, the pastor tells you everything will be okay. I mean, This is contradictory to me. Reality is telling you otherwise. The pastor is telling you otherwise. You're seeing that you don't have a good road. You see, we have security problem. But then when you get to the church, the pastor tells you and gives you this false hope and reality that everything will be okay. How can we move forward when we're not? For me, from my opinion, I've always said this, and I am not an extremist. I am not a radical person, but I believe that in order for us to move forward as a nation, we must scrap the churches. This is my belief. Scrap down all those churches because they are moving us back.
Not only churches, churches and mosques, anything religion. You need to call a spade a spade. Eh, okay, let's hear from DJ Kamze, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I greet everyone. Uncle Rudy, been a while. Yeah, keep on doing the good work. Yeah, I love all the content. Yeah, it's a very interesting story today. Yeah, that I call it Awakening Africa, Awakening the Black Race. These are one of the problems that has hindered the black race from developing for a very, very long time. When these people dropped this religion and when they left this religion in a disguise, like they are kind of helping us, kind of, we think is kind of a civilization, which I think is obviously not. And when you see the situation of Nigeria especially, people cannot separate politics from religion. And that is the reason why you see most of these politicians, they're so intertwined with all these political leaders because they know Nigeria is one of those countries that their pastors, their imams, they control their followers in millions. Once they put that fear, and those religions is religion of fear, of paradise and hellfire. And this is why I always tell people, look at these people that brought this religion to you guys. Look at their country. They are building that paradise in their country. Do you think all these European countries, United States, or all this country, they've already had a project in 200 years, what they are going to do for their future generation that is coming. But we don't think that about black race. What they've given to us is paradise is the ultimate goal. Don't go to avoid hellfire. And this is what the Project Fear they put in all black people. And I can even say, even on this panel, if they ask people that, what is the most important thing why you were created? You came on earth. I'm sure a lot of people will say, oh, I want to go to paradise. I don't want to go to hellfire. So this is the project we have. So we've abandoned our priority. We should be looking into the future, developing. We should remove that slave mentality that they put in us that that paradise, hellfire.
Okay, let's go now.
This is not,
My
this
brother,
is not,
sorry to interrupt you. Look at the war going on now in the Middle East. You see how many missiles Iran fired.
Iran. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, people, there may be casualties and in war. These people, don't they think that what they are committing is murder? People are going to die. And they know that when you commit murder, you go, forget these religious things. There is nothing like heaven or hell, all these things.
Yeah, there's no heaven and hell. And these are one of the problems I always tell our people. We will never develop as an Africa or Nigeria or in general Africa in short. We will never develop until we disentangle ourselves away from this foreign religion. They are pulling us backwards so much that we put so much energy into this religion, and what even baffles me is that look at this pastor like Adeboye Oyedepo, all of them, the youth in their churches, they told them to go for evangelism to win soul for Jesus Christ. What the hell? What the hell? Win soul for Jesus Christ for what reason? The youth that you're supposed to develop, that they should contribute into the quota system, into the economy of the country. You've turned all those youth to prayer warrior. At what age? They tell you that prayer is the only thing that can solve all your problems. Look at those lies. Ever since I'm in abroad, are you going to pray for God for basic things in life?
No,
like,
this,
like food, shelter, education, road security. But Nigeria is otherwise. They will tell you that you have to go. People will go to church for job. People will go to job for just put food on the table. Hold your government accountable. Your government are the problem. Your government is your God. Anything that is happening to us in Nigeria or anywhere in our country, it is the responsibility of the government. It's not responsibility of any God to come into your aid. So that's just what I'm just going to say for now.
DJ,
appreciate.
I wanted to say, if in Africa we have a job that is paying people per hour, like maybe $10 per hour, some people you see in church praying up and down will not have time to be going to those churches to be praying up and down. They will know that the more they work, the more they earn a living.
Thank you.
So another thing I have to say is that the politicians and the religious leaders are serving the same puppet masters. So they are the same people. The politicians make your life miserable, while the religious leaders make you feel that there is hope.
Let's hear from Sheds, please. Let's hear from Sheds, please. Let's hear, please. Let's mute your telephone. Let's hear from Sheds, please. Sheds, now you can talk. Sheds, let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, DJ Kamzi, you see that? Let's hear from you. Yeah, can you hear me? DJ Kamzi, you see that? Let's hear from you. Yeah, can you hear me? DJ Kamzi, you see that?
Your mic is echoing. Then unmute it again.
Unmute it again. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you now.
Yeah, unmute it again. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. I think it's put it on loudspeaker. Let it go down and then come back.
Go down and come back again.
Yeah. So if you see something happened some years ago when I was teaching in the university, but because I dressed like casually, like when you are young, a young lecturer, you might not look like a lecturer. And one day I was just sitting at the quadrangle, and one young student came to me and he said, "Have you accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior?" And I listened to him. I pretended as if I was a student, right? And he started talking, and I said, "What level are you?" He said he was in degree 1. And I told him, I said, in your life, in your life, this is not why you were sent to the university. You are just first year student. And then what department? He mentioned the department. I said, so this is what you took responsibility of, to be preaching when you should be in the library or doing something, thinking of something that you can work on. But he was already in prison. In prison, what I mean by prison?
Mental imprisonment.
Yeah, of course, mental imprisonment. And that was his project. So he was conditioned to think that way. And that is the same thing he would translate into his life and into the life of those he meets in life. And that was so shocking. So when I warned him, I said, next time you come to me, you do this, I will deal with it. And he was shocked. But that tells you where he's coming from and where he will be going. A 100-level student, already taking up the responsibility of preaching the gospel on campus. You see, there's somebody in the comment section saying, what is wrong about preaching? These are the problem we're having. You understand? I'm telling you, it's not a joke. I'm telling you, a lot of people have taken that preaching into priority. To me, when you come to people, productive, it seems like anybody can accept any religion. You can choose to accept it, but don't impose it on me. Don't teach me how to accept my God if I want to. Which is unfortunate.
How do you accept a
My
God?
brother, we shouldn't be allowing that. That's the reason why you see the politicians, they are cozy with the religious leaders, because they knew from the moment the youth realizes that they are just doing something that is unmeaningful. You understand? That is when the youth will rise up against the government. But they are using them together.
The basic innovation school. You need to make a request before I bring you up. Otherwise, you make a request, then I bring you up. Keep talking.
DJ, can I say something quickly?
That told you that he did not come for the righteous, but he came for the sinners. But in African spirituality, we do not condone sinners. We do not condone anything evil. We like being truthful to ourselves. We speak the truth. But a God
Look at
that
this one. You are all antichrist. Mumu. You are all
Let me say,
antichrist.
Just don't use abusive. DJ Kemsi, just ignore this. Don't use abusive words, please.
Can I come in?
don't talk to the comment section. They will always come and talk what they like.
No, don't worry, ignore them. What I wanted to say is that to me, from my personal experience, growing up in the church, because I've read the Bible more than 4 times, everything they teaches us today contradict what is in the Bible. And then on another perspective is that the church is just another political tool used by the politicians to enslave the people. How can you see when you're blind? So, if you go back today to Nigeria, I saw last week the choosing church or whatever they call them, they were in the mud, in the water, scrambling on there, laying down, praying in that dirty water. Now, as a nation,
And their pastor is inside a car.
I have the video on my phone.
Their pastor was in a car now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so as a nation, as a
water.
church organization, are we not supposed to, if we are talking about the growth of the country, put money together, and if we can, because we don't have to leave everything to the government. If you come to Europe here, we have volunteer organizations that goes about cleaning the roads. They don't leave everything for their government. They go about, they clean the road, they keep their society very clean.
Okay, let's hear from the next, please. When somebody is talking, please, please, when somebody is talking, please, you allow the person to finish. Don't interrupt the person. Let's hear from the next, the lady, please.
Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, everybody's listening to you, please.
Good morning. I reside in New York, but I really was born in Trinidad and Tobago. And when I came to Africa, it was very heart-wrenching. I went to Togo, Benin, and Ghana. And when I see people even walking the streets selling these white imagery of what Jesus is supposed to be, and people actually bowing down, making the sign of the cross, and all these things, I recognize that it is so widespread that it is few.
Please, if you are not talking, you mute your telephone so that we can hear her very well. Please mute your telephone if you are not talking. Please continue talking, my sister.
There are very few who will against the system. And to
Can you mute basic innovation? As in sound
Okay.
different from me.
Okay, now.
okay, very few people will speak, because once you program somebody's mind, there has to be something that has been put inside, that will has been inside, that was born there. I think I was born a rebel. I don't think I just came into this. The challenges that I have faced and overcome has birthed that rebel inside of me. So when we have so many people going in the wrong direction, the people who are awake and going in the right direction, we need to be able to come together and snuff out that clamp that is on the brain of the young ones. And the only way we can do that truly is to address the children. Have to start showing the children that there's a difference in the way that everything has been taught and the way that we need to be. And that is where our collaboration lies, and that is what is going to change the trajectory. But as it is, just like that young man that the professor met. There are so many like him on campus, like-minded, coming into campus already brainwashed. Most people want to study theology because now they recognize that if you become a pastor, you can become rich. So all the electrical engineering and bioelectric, that is not of interest to them because people still want to be rich. So I will land there because I want people to understand this idea of being rich is what we have to destroy. Look at where Sean Combs, PDD, whatever they call him, these days. Look and see where he has landed. And these are the examples that we have to show them that this idea of going rich is not really, by any means necessary, even just to become a pastor and be treated the wrong way.
So
Definitely, I think that we have a challenge in front of us. Give thanks and rest.
thank you so much for your contribution. Let's hear from the basic, please. Thank you, my sister. We heard you. Let's hear from the basic. Let me unmute him.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, everybody's hearing you, please.
Okay, thank you for bringing me to this wonderful platform. I love what you are doing. Please, I said something, I write something on the comment section before. There's one of our brother here, Uche now, so I think he's out or so, about African spirituality and religion. So what I want to make clear is that whatever thing they call it, religion is a religion. African spirituality is a pure religion. And this is what had hold Africa down before second colonization of the white man. When they came, they find out what we are doing. They just modify it to continue their way of colonization. Whatever thing they call it, African spirituality, religion, all of them, they are all the same. It's just like when you want to say Christianity. If you argue with them too much, they tell you that Christianity is not a religion. That is a Christ-like. The same way, when you are telling these African or these traditional worshippers that the African spirituality is a religion, they will tell you, no, it's not a religion. It's all about spirituality. They are all the same. It's all about colonization. It's all about manipulation. They use it to weigh you down. Our four great-grandfather, they were doing so well before that African traditional religion came. Most of all this idol, they are not our culture. They were introduced. If you study most of all these idols, they use human beings to establish them. They use human beings. All those are Madio and so on and so forth. Thinking that it's powerful. It's not powerful.
There's no verification to what you're saying.
Listen, brother, we are here to learn. Please. The problem they have, they scattered us. They don't teach history. Even our school system today, our curriculum, is being manipulated.
Which people are you talking about now?
You say what?
Which people scattered the African people?
The colonial masters.
Okay, then you are saying two different things at the same time. You said the idols are not good. We don't come clear. We don't actually understand the direction you are going, please.
Okay.
Exactly.
You just interrupted me before I moved to another section. Do you understand me?
Yeah, because you said
what I started with, let me make
That's
myself clear, please. DJ, calm down, please. Let me make myself clear. I came in with my comment I made before. Then somebody, Uche interrupted me, said that African spirituality is not a religion. I told him that it's a religion. Do you understand me? What they do is modification of the same way. Religion, for my belief system, is all about control. Teaching me how to relate to my father. And that my father is God. He's the father of everybody. Why religion will tell you this is the way. This is the way. That's why you have different types of religion. And this thing is affecting us very, very well in Africa. Like some of my people from the Eastern region, they say they will not go to, for me, I don't go to church again. They say they are going back to African traditional religion. When you get there also, if you are not careful, they will manipulate you the same way they manipulate you in the church. That is where my point, that is what the point I'm trying to establish.
Okay,
They
we've
will
had it.
manipulate you in the same way. Whether African spirituality, whether they are all the same.
Okay, we've had you. Let's hear from the user, the next person, please. Thank you so much for your contribution. We may touch this your points. Let's hear from the user. Thank you.
Okay, I thank you for bringing me up. We have
Basic, please mute your mic. Okay, 1 second.
Can you hear me?
We are hearing. We are listening to you.
Can you hear me?
Everybody is listening to you.
Okay. This is a very interesting topic, and I think it's quite nice to see that Africans we are kind of discussing this topic here. My point is this: religion is an individual thing. It's an individual experience, and religion does not in any way affect the prosperity of a nation. The prosperity of a nation depends on what the government does. If the government wants the country to be progressive, it's going to be progressive. It doesn't have anything to do with religion, except if that government is a kind of religious, let's say it's a Muslim or a Christian government. But if you come in a secular country like or if you come to Nigeria where there is multiple religions and all this, and you watch closely, why is Nigeria, for example, not progressing? It doesn't have to do with religion. It doesn't. The religion doesn't affect the progress we have in Nigeria. The lack of progress we have is because of the government.
My brother, please, I disagree with you big time. Let's hear from. I disagree with you.
Let me finish before you can make your point. I will tell you for let's say in Europe, for example, I've seen there are Europeans that are religious like Africans too. I have seen, I'm not telling from experience, they are really the same thing Africans do. That is what they are doing. But the difference is there is work. They have work. They go to work and then have what their basic needs. But in Africa, you see someone who is religious and there is no job opportunities. He ends up, being poor. Do you understand? Now, let's say in China or this, they are Buddhists, they are believers, they are prosperous. Every country, Europe, for example, they believe in early Europe, they believe they were Christians.
My brother, please, let me come. Before you go further, when you talk about Nigeria, did you know most of the elections conducted in Nigeria were influenced by religion and tribe? That is, it has a lot to do. Who becomes Nigeria's president has a lot to do with religion and your region, your tribe.
Okay,
Yes.
And excuse me, let me come now. So religion plays.
But I think you are mistaking my point. That you are okay. Let's assume that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Muslim, right?
My brother, please. Religion is a problem in Africa, in a country like Nigeria. Religion.
I asked the question. Can you answer me now?
Please, I'm not here to answer you any question. The next person.
But then that means I thought we are here to learn.
Everything in Nigeria is influenced by religion.
See, everything in Nigeria has a lot to do with religion. You see, religion and tribe.
You're right. I asked the the question. You should educate me that.
I've told you that Nigeria, see.
No, he has not answered.
What is the question? What question did you ask?
Okay, they will answer you now.
Okay, ask the question.
My question is this: Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Muslim, right?
No, that's
But you know it that he's a Muslim. You are asking.
a Muslim. That is
You know it now.
Let me rephrase my question. Is Bola Ahmed Tinubu a Muslim?
Yes, he's a Muslim.
Yes, he's a
yes.
Muslim.
Now I need to bring this guy down. We know that.
No, don't bring him down
Okay.
so that it won't be like you're not tolerant. But let him ask his question clearly and
He's a Muslim, right? But as a Muslim, can he be good? Can he be good or bad?
we don't know because we are not him. He can only know whether he wants to be good
No, I'm
or
asking you.
bad. No, but the fact is
My
this.
brother, let me keep this.
You sir, you sir, don't.
Are there good
Did
Christians
you
and bad
did you know the
Christians?
reason why? Did you know the reason why Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to pick a Muslim running mate?
You guys are.
He understood the impact of religion. He understands
why
the
he went to
You are
bring
getting
a
my
Muslim
point.
running
You are
mate.
getting my point wrong.
No, we understand your point where you are going. No, you said being a Muslim doesn't make you not to do bad or good.
And
That's what you're trying to say.
I'm telling you that, okay, let's assume Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Muslim and he's making.
Please, if we have to argue, let's do it
You
constructively.
see, the fact is that now, so when you say the challenge I have here is that no, we don't need to assume what we know because we already know it.
Yeah.
Now, the issue is this: there is a one-on-one correspondence between your what you believe and how you do what you do. If you have a kind of controlling force, you have a
Can
kind
I,
of
let me, sorry to interrupt you. There is something.
User, you are not being clear with your.
Please, user, enough. Please, you can come later. Let's hear from another person. Please, you are trying.
This is an interrupt.
Yes, please. Let's hear.
Yeah, but it seems everyone.
But you are not being clear with your questions now. You are not being clear with your question.
Please, let's hear from Anthony, please. Thank you, user. You may come up again. I may allow you to talk again. Let's hear from Anthony, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Uncle Roddy, the thing will happen for Nigeria, brother, the thing don't tire me.
Please speak English because I'm on YouTube so that they don't speak what everybody understands.
Okay, this
Thank you.
religion thing happening in Nigeria, I mean, it has taken us so backwards because we are not catching up. So now the political elites and the pastors, now don't they take this thing as to their own advantage. The only people benefiting from what religion is doing in Nigeria is the politicians and the big shots, the big pastors, where they collect tithes from their members. So religion don't really.
Please, my brother, I'm on YouTube and on Facebook, and so that they don't, restrict my page. Speak English. It is allowed on YouTube. The broken English, they don't, because I'm on YouTube that is monetized, please.
Oh, okay. So now one thing I just want to talk be that I know if it's
Okay, I appreciate you. Let's hear from the next person.
May I speak?
Yeah. Okay, you can speak now.
The brother who was referring to the various religions, even the traditional ones, he is so absolutely correct. Because in America, when you have situations that need to be addressed, and you go to the so-called spiritualists, the spiritualists cost you so much money to fix this problem. You have problem in your marriage, that's the way they will say it. You have problem in your marriage, come to us, we'll fix it for you. And you have to pay them big money to give that. You have to pay them big money to light a candle. You have to give them big money for whatever ointment or whatever they will mix for you, or even to sit down and talk with you to have what they will call a reading. So to understand how powerful spirituality has been usurped by religion is the beginning, because I heard the young man just now saying that spirituality, religion is not the problem. Religion is the problem because true spirituality has been usurped, it has been overtaken by these different religious practices, whether it's Christianity or Muslim. I mean, trust me, even the Muslims are manipulating people the same that way that Christianity is manipulating people, the same way Buddhists are manipulating people, because people forget to understand that the balance is way from within. Spirituality has absolutely nothing to do with religion as a whole. But there are certain aspects of spirituality that religion has extracted and is using to manipulate the mind of the people. Even when you talk about the government, the word government means to control the mind. So these are the people who are leading people. And when you have people who are lazy, not motivated, and thinking that their only recourse is to ask God. I'm not saying that we should not pray. I'm not saying that we should not ask God. But the basic things like planting, gardening, growing trees that will be able to feed us, if we are not addressing these things, keeping the oceans and the rivers clean so that we have running water and we have, that energy moving around us, then we are going to continue to be lost. I give thanks again.
Thank
Can I
you.
quickly come in?
Can I?
Just 1 second.
I just wanted to say
contribution
something.
to what Olabisi said.
I also want to. Go first then. Go first.
Okay. Before she came on, I said similar thing earlier that the churches in Nigeria, the mosque, whatever it is just a political gateway, or you can call it a political tool in the hands of the oppressors to encourage us.
Please, my brother, official, please, whenever, if as we talk, because there are so many people from different nationalities on this page. It's not only Nigeria. Talk generally. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll talk in general. Okay, let me talk in general. It could be anywhere. It could be here in Europe.
Okay.
It could be in Africa. But I was specific because I'm talking about the problem that is facing our people. But I'll go in general if that's the case. So, for example, here in Romania where I live, we have churches that are being built for millions of euros. I mean, there was a church that was completed recently, over 50 million euros. Now, if you put that into practicality, that is equivalent to building a modern day hospital that could save the life of people. So when somebody comes here and tells you that religion is not the problem, that person is absolutely dreaming. Because we're talking about saving people's life here. Now, if I get sick of cancer, I cannot go to the church. I need to go to the hospital. If I have a very serious problem, I run to the doctor. I don't run to the priest. In fact, as a matter of fact, when the priest has a problem, he goes to the hospital. So if we, just like our sister said here, if we have deviated from reality and we've gone into this illusional dimension that we no longer as a human being make use of our brain except what somebody writes somewhere for us, then we're losing it completely as humans. These are things that you should know even in primary school. You don't need to know. These are not topic for adults to tell you that they will approve 50 million euros to build a church that could build a modern day hospital, save pregnant women, save people of cancer, save kids from dying. I mean, then you tell me that it's not dragging us back. It is dragging us back. So,
Thank you so much. Let's hear from the person. Somebody has, please, somebody I brought up has not spoken. Mr. Producer or what, something like that. Please.
Okay, yeah. Good evening, everyone, because it's evening here in China. Okay, I don't know if I can get the topic of the live, because when I joined, I heard everything being spoken was about religion. So I don't know if I can get the topic of the life again.
The topic is religion is a tool they used in colonizing and controlling Africa. That's the topic. That's it. And African people should abandon religion and face reality. That's it.
Okay, yeah, okay. I think I get the topic now. Okay, I'll start from number one. I think worldwide, religion is one of the biggest problems we are facing because I think, if you want to capture people, you have to capture them mentally. Because if you can be able to conquer anyone mentally, you don't need to conquer the person anymore physically. So I think religion has caused more damage than the good it has done for us. In Africa, I think the biggest problem is here that we are trying to embrace another people's way of life, which is not our own way of life. Because if you pay attention, when people come up with the idea of God to me, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Muslim, I am an atheist. When people come up with religion issues with me, I'll be like, okay, I want you to understand that there is nothing like one God for everyone. Anybody who tells me that there is one God for everyone, that is a very big lie because a culture is any culture or any tradition was created to serve a specific people. There is no culture that is created or any religion that was created to serve the general public. No, it is any culture or religion is created to serve a specific set of people. So the Christian religion, the Christian religion may be the religion of the white people, but it is not our own religion. And there is no how you can expect an organism to grow in a lifestyle that is not their own life. For example, you cannot, anytime a fish will wake up and say, I'm no longer interested in my own culture, which the culture of a fish is being inside the water. When a fish said, I don't want to be inside water again, I want to now walk on the land, that fish, once you bring out the fish on top of the land, you already know that this fish is going to die. The same thing goes to the animals who are flying on the air. If you bring down an animal who is flying on the air, an eagle is only strong only when it is flying on the sky. But whenever an eagle decides to walk on the ground, that eagle is going to die. That one is very certain because it is living a life outside its own culture. You understand? So I think religion is just a way to slave the Africans mentally. The reason why the whites don't even have problem the reason why you're not seeing wars in Africa today is because there's no need to fight with people that you've already conquered mentally. The reason, if you pay attention to what is happening in the southeast, those people now they're trying to conquer them physically because they refuse to be conquered mentally. For example, here in Asia, they worship Buddhism. Mm-hmm. At some point, when I came to China, I see people going to Buddha. I joined them at some point, and I was like, every people worship their forefathers. Mm-hmm. That is, they worship their forefathers. And if I continue going to temple praying, how do this thing answer me? How will this temple answer me when the temple can clearly see that I am not one of them? Buddha is a man. Buddha is an Indian man. If you go to the history of Buddha is an Indian man. Then how can you tell me that religion is going to help us grow when you can see that they tell us that the Muslims and the Christian all worship God in heaven? That was what they told us. Christian and Muslims. But if you pay attention, you see that these two religious people don't even like themselves. They don't even, and a Muslim person, he doesn't even want to see a Christian person around him. Mm-hmm. Starting from there, then if you go into the church, into Christianity as a general, inside Christianity they have Pentecostal, they have Jehovah Witnesses, they have Catholic, and if you say that a Jehovah Witness person will tell you that he doesn't even want to see a Catholic get married to their child. Why? When you are telling us we are serving one God. So I think this is just, if you pay attention to, I don't believe in Bible. I have not read the Quran. I don't believe in Bible because when I read the Bible, I think that there is no how you can tell me there is a God and God is busy writing all those things that are in the Bible. If you go to church, you will see that all they care about church is most the Pentecostal churches. What has been trending now is your tithe. You have to, they keep saying it, you have to give them tithe. Pay God. How can you tell me that I'm paying God 10% of I have never paid tithe in my life and I will never pay it. Because I have seen so many countries who don't who don't even believe in, who don't even worship, they don't even believe in anything, they're doing perfect well. I think when you wake up and understand that you are the God on your own,
Correct.
you are the God who can make things happen. If you are depending on when people say God is their personal savior, I will say no. I will say, do you know that if I point you, I don't want to mention the name because of the life. I don't know if it is among the.
No,
If I point you something that is if I point to something that can take your life at that moment, do you know that I decide if you live if I will decide if you live or still remain in existence? There is no God that is coming to save you. Will you tell me that a lion who is praying and saying, God, provide my own food for me, which you know that lion's food is feeding on other animals. Lion cannot feed without feeding on other animals. And an antelope is praying to God that he doesn't want to die. So do you tell me that it is one God that is going to answer this prayer? No. Because if God allows an antelope to get it to be fed by a lion, that means the God doesn't like the antelope. And if God allow a lion to stay without food, then you have to say that this God is not a good God. Because why will you create an animal and decide to starve the animal? So people just have to go back to their own culture, and because if you pay attention, Christianity was built on belief. What is belief? Belief is you accepting something without fact, without like somebody is telling you have to believe. When you want to argue with a Christian, they will first of all start with faith. That if you don't have the Holy Spirit in you, this that. Nobody has been able
to accept something you don't know.
You don't even know. In Africa, there's something we used to say in Africa. They'll say that it is an Igbo language because I am Igbo. I am an Igbo. I will say it in English. It says that show me. It's in English language. It says that show me, then I will see and believe you. You cannot just wake up and tell me something and expect me to believe it when I'm not even seeing any critical knowledge on that thing, or I'm not even seeing anything that makes that.
Excuse me, 1 second. You are speaking well. You see, they tell you to blessed are those who did not see but yet believe. How can you believe what you did not see? What is not practical?
This is because if you pay attention, people just don't question things. When Bible was written with the knowledge of sword. That was what was used during that time. They were using sword. There was no gun. That is the reason when Bible was written. And I will tell people, so how you told me that your God is in heaven and your God, they told you that heaven is the safest place, but you will see people carrying sword in heaven, protecting your so-called God. You see people protecting, and with sword, when on earth, men are building missiles, men are building all kinds of weapons. If there was God up there, if there was God, and if you even the other story, they said that they were building tower to go and meet God. God caused confusion. But now they have the tallest building in the world that even Elon Musk travels outside the world. God has not done anything on this one. So I think all these are stories that are fabricated together just to be able to hold you, just to hold some people back. That is why if you come out and start thinking, only those who dares to question will understand how life works. So I've never seen any country that depends on religion that is going to prosper, or that is going to compete in the global world. If religion was actually helping, you would have had government investing hugely inside religion. And if religion was something very nice, they will not bring it to you. They will not bring it to you. These people will never bring something that will favor you. It is impossible. If religion was that good, if religion was something that...
Excuse me, my brother. See, I dropped a rail. I said, if heaven was real, you think Europeans and all these people will introduce it to you? If heaven is real, you don't...
You need visa to come to Ghana, but you don't need visa to go to heaven.
If there was heaven, sir, I want people to understand. Okay, let me give you a practical thing. When you hear in the Bible, they will tell you God means government of the day. When you hear that God sent Satan to the earth, what I'm trying to tell you is that during the early days, when the Arabs left, they left the Arab and went to Europe. Europe is the heaven they are being told, though. Africa is the hell. Yeah, because you cannot tell me there's any hell stronger than the one you're facing in Africa. They'll make Christianity make death looks like death is a reward. You have to wait until you die before you'll be rewarded. Who does that? Who does that? When the Arabs left, they went to Europe. They tried to conquer Europe. They couldn't conquer Europe. Then Europe sent them to Africa. The Europeans, when they say God sent Satan to the world, that is, God sent the Arabs to Africa. That is the reason why you see the Hausa people. Their names are Muhammad, Ahmed. And if you pay attention, they're answering exact name with the Arab people. How can you tell me that they're answering the same name? This was when they
now Matthew, David.
this was the these are English. Their culture they imposed on us because these people are creating a culture. Every culture is a direct opposite of the other. America, they don't have what we have. These people are their own culture is that they are the predators. They have to conquer a country for them to get whatever they want. It is not like the Africans. The difference here is that the white people are the wise people. White, our forefathers, the Africans are the clever people. Who is a clever man? A clever man is a man who will see a problem and avoid that problem from happening. This is a clever man. But a wise man is a man who will go and create a problem and create solution for that problem. So our forefathers are the clever people. When they see a problem, they will stay away from that problem. They will avoid that problem from happening. But a white man will come. Okay, this is the reason why they will come to Africa. They will be all these terrorism you are seeing, and they are caused by all this set of people, all these white people. You will never see terrorism in their own country. You will never see terrorism. They will put it for them to be able to destroy your country. Then they will now come in as these people cannot rule themselves. Let's come and rule them. This is their own agenda. So religion, anyway, we have to keep both religion aside first and focus on building the country. There is never a country who is going to go for that. Any country that depends. Here in China, I don't even know how many of them worship. They don't believe in anything. But you can't compare China. You can't compare China to which country can you compare to China? The countries with the top what economies, you know, China and America. These people don't even believe in God. They don't even believe in this your God. They don't believe in it. So Africans just need to wake up and understand that they are the God. I'll give you a short story about Elon Musk. When Elon Musk was building his rocket, his Starlink, the first rocket he sent outside the world never returned. They were telling him, you have killed this thing you are doing is not going to work. It's not going to work. People are dying in this process. Elon Musk said that, no, I know what I saw. I am the God. I know what I saw. I have to make this thing happen. He sent his rocket the second time, and the thing didn't return back to Earth. They were erasing his name, calling him bad person, killer, calling him all sorts of names. He still persisted. He believed that he is the God. If something is wrong, if this rocket didn't return back, something is wrong. Something happened. We are in this TikTok today. We're able to communicate from all around the country. Somebody thought about this. Somebody thought about this and was able to make this to come to place. The knowledge we have in in whole of Africa, we tell you that it is not only the religion, but our school system and our political system. Africans are not people. Africans, we are not built on capitalism. We are not built on capitalism. We are built on communism. We have to come together. There is this thing we say in our tribe, meaning when the more we are, the more we can be able to fight. They came to us and told us that this your worship, this thing your forefathers are doing is not right. Ask them, why is it not right? They told you that because Jesus said it is not right. They never give you any reason why your own tradition is not right. They just told you that because Jesus said it is not right. They removed a culture that when your brother cannot harm you because he knows the consequences. An African man is only afraid of their God, of this our African magic, which the white people call it. That is what an African man is afraid of. They came and removed that insulator that will prevent your brother from even thinking of taking your own land, from even thinking of unaliving you. They removed that insulator that was there and gave you a Jesus that told you that this one now will make, even if your brother unalive you, God, they will forgive him. He will go and ask for mercy and they will forgive him. How do you think in a society that have some, if you look at prison, talk according to book. I say, no, read book. Pay attention to what is happening in your reality. Stop reading books. Don't stop reading things that don't have real world application in it. Stop reading things, because if you will see somebody that said he went to, he studied chemical engineering, you ask him, okay, which chemicals can we mix to find out specific something? They'll say they don't know. You have knowledge, having knowledge, knowing about something doesn't mean you have the practical knowledge. So what our educational system is part of the problem. People will you will spend your years in school. When you come out, they have programmed you in a way that, or how you're coming out, you are going to work for somebody.
Liberal thinking talked about that earlier.
So they have these people are very smart. There was a book, George Orwell, he's a British man. He wrote a book titled Animal Farm, and he was talking about the Africans. He said that at the early days, when the white people came, they came and they took all the Africans and enslaved them. But time came when the Africans started realizing, but they chose to betray their own brother just to favor the whites. In the whole narrative, even bad narrative you are seeing, we are pushed by this set of people. They want, this racism you are seeing, all these things were created, all these things, somebody came up with all this ideology to be able to put hatred, enmity between this person and this person, within this this tribe and this tribe, between this culture and this culture. All these things were created so that people cannot come together to think alike. So all this religion, education system, and our political system, all these things were imposed. When people will say that they are no longer enslaved in Africa, so I say no. These people came, they've already done what they have to do. For them to go, they left a gatekeeper. Because they left our brothers, they trained our brothers to be a gatekeeper. For them to be able to be getting what they are still getting from us. Look at what is happening in Burkina Faso. I saw that, how can a reasonable person that is an African, that we see that Burkina Faso is prospering, and you are still fighting to eliminate this person just because he's doing the right thing? Why? So these people have fucked with our mentality. This was why they tried everything to erase the histories from school. The reason when I see people talk about the history is not important, I see them as a set of people who don't even think. I see those people as a set of stupid people, because you cannot tell me your father's enemy can never love the child of your father. Somebody who dislikes your father can never love any product of that your father.
It's not possible.
So your history, the reason why you have history is that when you come out, you first of all know who you are. We have been brainwashed that we don't even know who we are. You will see our ladies. Our ladies are there wearing people's hair just to look like the white. You will see the men trying to live life. They say they want to be like the white people. They want to be like the white people. They want to be like the white people. Why are these whites? Why is this there? Why do we keep looking at white as our supreme masters? Why? Why do we keep on looking at white as our supreme masters? This is the reason why they look at us as we are nothing to them. Because we see them as our God. We see them that we can't do without them.
So let's hear from other people. Thank you for your your contribution. It's like some people want to say something. Please, let's hear from you guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to say basic innovation point. Yeah, so this answer is for him of of what he said earlier regarding confusing African spirituality with religion. One thing I should let him realize that religion is man-made. There is no God that has any religion, but every culture has a way of life. And every culture is always trying to protect its own way of life. So it's about the battle of supremacy. You understand?
Thank you, brother. People should realize that. Thank you so much.
The Europeans have given us their way of life. So for us to able to abandon our own way of life, calling our own way of life evil, and if you want to
Sondo Korea, I see you.
All you need to tell those people is that, do you know what? Your forefathers, they are this to you. They were never progressive. They are never this than that for you. So why people did not bring civilization to Africa? It was because of 400 years of slavery that was in between it. They grew within that era, and they left us behind. I gave instances like, okay, if you want to know our forefathers, they themselves were very innovative. The food we eat today is from them. You know, there's so many foods out there. There's so many foods out there that, you know, that we eating now that our forefathers, they knew these foods are very good for us. Yeah. Look at the clothes, some of the clothes that we wear today. You understand? It is from them. So all we need to do as the seed that they left behind is to work on what they've left down. Instead of criticizing them that they were not civilized during that time, because the colonizer, they themselves were not civilized at that very time. People progress. Gradually, people progress. You know, there's so many things they've done, sculptures, all those kind of things. Those are technology itself. It's not like because they didn't go to the four wall of university that the Europeans has given to you doesn't make them, they are not educated. They are very educated. Agriculture-wise, fashion-wise, all those kind of things is there. So that's just what I wanted to say to him, that the religion thing, comparing to the way of life of every people. Like this, Mr. Bode also said, China as well, look at, they honor their ancestors. They pay homage to their ancestors. And nobody is saying, and a Chinese man will never agree with you for you to demonize, or they will insult their own ancestors. No. They will rather, whatever the ancestors left out to them, they work on them and they progress on it. Until we Africans, we should appreciate where we are, appreciate where we come from. You know, you cannot criticize people that you came out from and you expect you are going to be successful in life. It's like you know, all this religion, you go to church, you will bind all your ancestors, you understand, you're cutting yourself away from the fruit, from the root of the tree.
DJ, please,
that means you are dead.
DJ, you spoke very well, but you know, African people, both Christians and Muslims, do not know they are idol worshippers. African people, they don't know that they are idol worshippers. See, when you look at the Christians and the Muslims, who are they calling on? They are calling on the ancestors, prophets that are dead. All the prophets in the Bible, none is living. All the prophets they claim in Quran, none is living. No one. And who are the people they are calling? They are calling on. They are calling on these dead prophets, calling on them. But their own ancestors, they don't call on them. Our ancestors, all our forefathers, nobody praises them, nobody call on them, but they prefer to call St. Peter, mold them in churches, men is all bullshit. Well, let's hear from the next person.
Yeah. Okay. I will just quickly impute this. And I was telling somebody some time ago that if I want to worship anything, I will worship my grandfather who raised me and taught me principles of life.
Good.
You know, because I could have direct connection with how he taught me some of the values. And I shared with someone at the time that one day my grandfather and I were going to farm, and he picked a palm kernel. I think we all know this. And he threw it into the bush, and he said I should go and look for it, and I should come and give it to him in the farm. It took me roughly 2 hours to look for this item, and I didn't get it. So I was crying, you know, the way we were related with our grandfathers, and then I was crying because he told me not to come to farm if I didn't get it. When I met him and I said I couldn't get it, you know what he told me? He sat me down, he said, sit down in a small hut in the farm. He told me that this is what life is. That sometimes you will be looking for something and you might not get it. Probably you will be finding other things in the process. And those things that you are finding might not be what you are looking for. But that does not mean that what you're actually looking for does not exist. Only that you have not found it. And he was explaining those, and that was when and at this time I was just like, I think I was just like 10 or 11 years old. I'm telling you till today, that knowledge was part of what has triggered me in life and has been helping me to regulate myself even when I couldn't achieve something. There are many things I want to achieve. So there's a one-on-one connection between that thought process and the kind of experience I have. So when you are serving, what I'm trying to say here is that when you are worshiping something and you cannot find the one-on-one correspondence between that thing you are worshiping and the life you live, you are doomed.
Thank you so much.
You are doomed.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from the next person, please. One after the other, so that the people that I just brought up now can speak. Now, the next person, please.
If they are not,
Okay, E, you can speak. Eki John, you can speak. Nobody, if the others don't want to speak, you.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, we are listening.
Yeah. Wow, wow. I'm so happy to come across your channel. Immediately I heard what you were saying, like within the first 1 minute, I've added you and I started following you straight away. I've had liberal contribution and everyone contribution. And I'm so happy that in our generation this is happening. We are decolonizing our people. And honestly, I don't even know what to say. But let me just give my own explanation. Number one is this, yeah. Religion is man-made. And religion is a tool that was given back to in the war zone. When people were fighting war, they need men, they need soldiers to fight, on their side. And the only way they can, recruit soldiers is to create an ideology, yeah, to brainwash people to, to gain the men to their side. Now, this is what I'm saying now is it will make sense to a lot of people and very interesting. Who started this ideology? Is the Roman empires, yeah, the Roman Empire. They were the one that started this ideology. Because back in the ancient times, yeah, the ancient days, nobody had missiles, bomb, AK-47, machine guns to fight. So what do people use to fight? Yeah, they get power from their deities. These deities are the ones that empower people. They fight with their spiritualities to defend their land because these deities, they were messengers, spiritual messengers that created civilizations. A lot of people might not know, yeah, and it's facts, and they are directly connected, yeah, with heavens, directly connected with heavens. They have power of immortality. They have omnipresence, omnipotent power, yeah. So people summon on these deities to fight, to defeat, because in the ancient time, it's all about, supremacy, people, conquering empires, people, killing, and then, ethnic genocide going on everywhere. So these Roman empires, yeah, they came up with the idea, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to create this monotheism ideology, yeah, whereby we have to create one concept of God, that is one God is the supreme God that created heaven and earth, yeah? And then nobody should worship any other God except this God. Before, all these deity, nobody ever called them deity. Nobody. No African tradition or ever has ever called a deity God, but they believe this deity was sent to them by God. They never call them God. Yeah, but they believe this deity were given power by God. Yeah, because it is through them you can connect with God, and then from this power, from the knowledge they derive from this deity, that's what they use to now get power as well to defend their territory. If you look at the Greek Empire, what happened to them? All the Greek gods. It was this same Roman Empire that destroyed their empire, yeah? And then they create the religion to, to justify genocide. So whoever that is now practicing, their original spirituality, yeah, they will tag them as, all these derogatory words like devil, evil, witchcraft, just name it. Anyhow you can name it. And just like that, they will just go to people's community, go to their cities, wherever. They will just kill them in mass and justify it by saying they are worshiping a false god. worshipping a false god. This was where the problem started from. It's not something that is made up. We can do the research, yeah? So the Roman Empire, they created all this Christianity, whatever, in the Council of Nicaea, because if they don't do that, other empire will rise up against them and conquer them. You understand? It was a war of empire against empire. Where is Mali Empire today? Where is Sudan? Where is all the empires? Where are they? They're gone. The Roman Empire itself. Then all of this Europe we are looking at today, yeah, that is the old Roman Empire, which a lot of people don't even know. We are like, you ask yourself, where is even the Roman Empire? Where is the Greek? Where?
Even Vienna was one time even capital of Roman Empire. Vienna says.
Yeah, it was this Europe, this English you see, France, Germany, Holland, Portugal. They were the old Roman Empire. Their empire got so big, so large, yeah. And when your empire becomes so big, yeah, it will get to a point whereby you will start losing touch, yeah. You will start losing control, and then it's splitted. Adolf Hitler was trying to bring them back again. That was actually what caused the Second World War. He was trying to bring them back again to go back to the time of the Roman Empire, but he couldn't succeed. So what happened was after Europe, what happened? When they start expanding, go and look at the first people that invaded Egypt. It was the Romans. Before the Arabs now later came to, So when they started expanding, yeah, this news of the Roman expansion has already got into the Middle East. Because if you look at the whole of Middle East, they only have two religions, either Buddhism or Hinduism. If you go to China, Japan, Korea, just name it. That's what they have mostly in those regions. So when they heard about it, they were like, oh, this, very interesting. And the people that were, this Roman Empire, they like conquer their region, their territory. They have to sit down as well, form another council to create this Islamic religion. Just like the concept, this Roman brought, they created. They have to create Islam the same way, because the whole ideology of Christianity was from Judaism. If you look at the Orthodox Jews today, yeah, they don't believe in Jesus Christ. They do sacrifice. They slaughter chicken and everything. They pray to wall. Their own Christianity is totally different from this Christianity we practice, because, like I mentioned earlier on, it is not religion. It's about spirituality. No human being on earth has ever seen God. So the only way you can have access to God, it is through this deity, because they were the ones sent from above to this. They descended from above down. They are the one that have these connections. That's why it's a very deep thing, yeah, because I'm Yoruba. Anyone that studies
Stankovic, long time. Good morning to you.
So anyone that study Ifa cosmology very well, and you look at the corpus of Ifa, yeah, of how it is documented in the Ifa corpus, you will understand what I'm saying clearly. Because even myself, I have to take my time to start studying Ifa to understand what is in there, yeah. So, and then when you now relate Ifa together with what Chinese people are practicing, what India and the Indians are practicing, you will start seeing like similarities. Very, very similar stuff. Like if you look at the Chinese now, yeah, they practice what we, their own practice is called I Ching. I put space CHING, I Ching. It is just exactly the way the Yoruba people practice their own Ifa. But in Yoruba, there's something they call Oduifa. They press it, when they draw it from top to the bottom. But the Chinese people, they draw their own from left to the right. And this is where the first, computer coding started from. That's why you see Chinese people, they are so vast in technological stuff, because they took their time to learn, you understand, their own, they took their time to learn their spirituality and develop in their own way. So to cut the long story short, the Arab people, when they saw the way the Roman Empire were expanding, yeah. If you look at most of the countries they call Arab countries today, they are all in the Bible: Lebanon, Syria, Turkey. Just name them. All these countries were already in the Bible. You understand? So when they now created Islam, yeah, but the Arabs, they were so clever, they were so smart, yeah, they understand that who do not want to sing God, and it is through this power of deity, yeah, that they got their culture, their civilization, and everything. So they don't want to throw away their civilization. You understand? Because you got to preserve it. That's why you see that today, that thing, the Kaaba thing they do, they will tell you that it is God, the Allah that put it there. Yeah. But if a black man now put a stone somewhere and they start circling it, they will tell you your own is evil. But their own is the God Allah that put it there. You see, they can circle there. But in Africa, you can't do that. You understand? In any part of the world, you can't do that. If you bow for a stone anywhere, is evil. As in, it's a sin. But their own is good. Yeah. And then their own Allah, he hates pig. And if you look at one characteristics of deity, they always have one thing that you understand that is they hate.
An abomination to them.
They're like a taboo, like an abomination. It is only deities that have this thing. That this thing is a taboo. God doesn't eat. You understand? It's not a man. It's not a woman. It doesn't even have form. You understand?
Good.
According to the way the Ifars describe a little Mary, because we call God a little Mary if you translate it. And nobody has ever called Shango or Omu or whatever God. Never. They gave them their specific name and they call them deity. They are idols. They are orishas. They are not God. You understand? So now, like I just even imagine, look at even in Africa, how many people have tried to invade us in Africa, our ancestors, that they tried to take over our land. And they couldn't succeed. How did our ancestors fought these people to restrain them, to make sure that the land we all proudly called our land to today, that they managed to retain the land? What did they use to fight during those ancient times? You understand? It is all these deities that that give them the knowledge, the power to fight, to defend themselves. Even all the knowledge of medicine, the knowledge of science they have. Everything is documented. A lot of people will say, "Oh, the ancestors don't have the look." They documented a lot of things. It was because number one, these people they came, they destroyed most of their libraries, they destroyed their civilization. But thank God to some civilization that some of these things, they didn't write them down. They put them in their head. That's why the Yoruba people is our own, because most of our couples was documented in the head. That's why it's
Okay, my brother, make it brief. I got you made valid points. Now I learned something from you. You see, these colonizers, these slave merchants that came to Africa, if not that our ancestors fought them, they wouldn't have left Africa.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes.
Let me tell you, people will say that, it was the white people that came to stop slavery. It's a big fat lie. Look, there's a book, The book is, let me get the title. The book is right in front of me here. 1 second. Okay. The book is titled Fighting Slave Trade, West African Strategy. Where is West Africa? The West African strategy, the way our ancestors fought these people to stop slavery. That they would never tell us. They never told us. They never stopped anything. They've tried everything to conquer our ancestors. You know how long it took them before they could conquer Egypt? In fact, there's a China now. They call that China, is it Greece or something like that? But their documentary, you have to subscribe to watch. You have to pay. Most of their documentary, they are like profound, because these people, look, forget if you watch this documentary, just forget all this Jesus Christ, Muhammad. They don't even exist, because these are scientists, archaeologists that they dig earth to find truth. Even all these Mecca, they don't even exist.
People are, all these things, these Islam people are, they've been doing it pre-Islamic era, even before Islam, until Islam till today, they are still doing it. Even that logo.
Can I come in briefly? I just wanted to say something because we've been talking about the problems, the problem. My question now is, since we've known all these problems now, we as a nation, we as a people, how can we move forward?
Thank you very much for the official detail. Number one is, you see, let us take advantage of this social media. You see, social media is a powerful tool in our hands. We have used social media to liberate a lot of people. Number two, we need to start forming organizations, because look, this Christianity and Islam, they have organizations. Look, there are some questions now. If we start asking from Genesis, if we don't start from Genesis alone, yeah, in fact, a lot of people will go and throw their Bible away. Just
Mr. Benga, I would like to come in. I asked the question because we were talking about the problems, and then we never talked about the solutions. Okay, right now,
I propose one solution.
I'm coming to we need to form organizations. If we can form organizations, yeah.
Even beyond forming organizations, one of the
Look, I will tell you why.
One after the other, please, so that we don't get interrupted. I want us.
I think we should form organization. Yeah. When we form organization, yeah, in this organization, people will donate money, because without money, believe me, there's nothing we can do. But when you create organization, if you want people to follow you, you must explain the reasons why they should follow you. Once people understand your reasons, they see, that the reason makes sense, then they will come to your side. Look at these people. How did they start? They just started building one church, one mosque, one this, one that. Gradually, they were, they were getting funds from everywhere to build all these churches and mosques. It's not free. It's not. They need, So if we start that way, then secondly, we need to create a lot of content, social media content. Like myself now, that's what I want to start doing now. We need to start creating a lot of very short content that when people watch, when they see it, even if they don't understand English or whatever, they will understand straight away. Straight away, they will get your message. From that way, we'll start decolonizing our people. Yeah, we'll start decolonizing our people. Then we need to create our own educational system, our own system, the African way. Look, as I'm talking now, there's a place in Ibupeju where the Indian school is. If you want to enroll your child there now, it is compulsory that your child pass Hindu. If your child does not pass Hindu, like Maths and English, they will not enroll your child. India just flew to the moon this year. They are proud of their spirituality. Are they practicing Christianity or Islam? Why are they progressing? But they made Hinduism compulsory. Look at the Yoruba people now. We have Ifa. Why are we not making Ifa to compulsory? Why are we not teaching our children? In London now, I'm not talking of UK generally. London, which is even the capital, Indians now, they own more houses than the English people. Google it. These people, they are so united. Their divorce rate in their family is so low. Their women respect their husband. Their children respect their parents. So, are they following Christianity or Islam? So why is their society so peaceful? So we don't need all this religion to live our life. We can live our ancestors live when they were living their life based on their own, based on the knowledge their own ancestors to pass on to them. Everywhere was peaceful. So education is very powerful. We must create our own educational system, because God has left something behind for us through these our deities. He has left it. One person among 4 people now, they will have cancer in their life. Go and check on cancer websites. What is causing cancer? All these food we are eating, our ancestors, they never had these problems.
So let's hear from somebody else contribution. I brought somebody up. Let's hear from the last person that I muted. What's the name? Cashew. What is the name? Something 2024.
I'm begging to interject.
Okay, please. Okay, speak, my sister. Speak. Then the next person will speak. Okay.
One of the main foundational things that we have failed to do is to go back to the land. We have to replenish the land. We have to be able to feed ourselves. Somebody saying create thing and we get donations, but we are using the same method because we cannot feed ourselves. We are enslaved to another to get a few dollars while they benefit. So when we don't go back to the land, when we cannot feed ourselves, which is the source of life, I mean, we cannot survive if we don't eat. And when we don't plant trees, even you refer to Ifa, Yoruba, the ocean is Mama Oshun. We don't respect the ocean. We don't honor the deity of the ocean where we can get fish to eat. We leave it dirty, we leave it littered. Then when we have low fish population, we complain. We don't eat the land, we don't plant trees, we're not eating from the soil, then we complain we get cancer. The trees will be able to replenish and clean the air. So then we would have a better intake of.
LBC, you are absolutely right. Let me do just 1 minute. You see, when you look at the African spirituality itself, yeah, they will tell you you can't see God, but you can feel God. But how can you feel God? Because God is hidden in the nature. You see, our ancestors here, they respect the nature so much. Like all these things you are saying, our ancestors, they respected this, but we have these evil people in the world right now that they don't even care about the planet. All they want is money. They just want money, 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 money. You see what I'm trying to say? But at the same time, yeah, if we want to save the planet, if we want to plant more trees, if we want to save the ocean, the river, we still need money. I'll give you an example. Exactly. Look at the Muslim community now. You don't even want to know how much they are donating massively that they are using to fund other Islamic in other countries. Look at the Jewish. They have like a central account where even the unborn, some family, their unborn child, they open the name of the child, they started putting money into their accounts. You understand?
Mr. Benga, can I just come in for one second?
Go ahead.
You talked about funding, and in every organization, funding is the primary aspect of any organization, because if you want to get the trees and move them, in order to move them from one destination to another, you need a means of transportation. If you need to clear the sea, I don't know, you need a boat, you need some chemicals, I don't know, whatever it is. So you cannot do anything these days without funding. So funding
we need to return to Ubuntu way of life. When we keep relying on money and making money our God, that we need money for that, then we are giving up our power.
Yeah, I support you, Olabisi, sorry. You see, I'm not saying you are wrong. Listen, I'm not saying you are wrong. Someone said in the comment section, that's liberal thinking. He said it is the mindset first. You see, when we change our people's mindset, yeah, you see people that have money, they will come out voluntarily, yeah, as long as we've made our blueprint known. They will come out with money and support the cause. Because I'm trying to say.
Early so, my darling.
And then you will see people that will come out as well without money, but they will just volunteer. They will do it. Look at the Christians. They do it, everything voluntarily. It's Muslim. They do voluntarily. They believe they are doing it to their God. You see what I'm saying? Why do you think they are doing it? Because their mindset has been attached to something. You see? So mindset is very, very powerful here. Go ahead.
Mindset are enslaved, and what we are witnessing is the manipulation of the enslavers, where they take those people's money in so-called tithes and offering, and they utilize that money to do whatever they want. And I am saying we as the people have to come together. We as the people can clean up the beaches. When I'm in Togo, there's one part of Togo that the beach is clean because I call my children and I say to them, are you guys keeping the beach clean? When Mama come, I want to see the beach clean, please. That's all I'm asking. From time to time, I ask them, please. I went to one part and I say, I saw some trees. It's called, in my country, they call it shatine. I think they call it bread nut. And that lady gave me 7 trees, and I paid her for it, and I carried them to different parts. I said, please plant this tree and keep it alive. It's going to be a source of food. And we don't have food. When we don't have food, we cannot survive.
Okay, let me see. I understood something now. I understood your point. What you're trying to say is that if we start this movement and then other people see us doing it and like it, they will likely join us.
Yes.
Yep, definitely they will. Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
So, 1 second, please. I want to, let's hear from Cardboard. Cardboard, please.
Will drive out darkness. One strike of a match will drive out darkness. And we are the light. We are the ones to strike those match. And when we join together, that is when it starts to spread. Don't worry about the money. When we go back to the land, when we start to replenish the earth, we are the ones who will benefit from it. From community to community, there's nobody, even in my country, Trinidad and Tobago, where I was born. I'm telling you, when we are in school holidays, we do not eat at home. We are the ones when we get to go away from our parents, we are the ones we get to we get to play. We are eating. I'm from the country, so it's different from the city people. When I'm country, we eat mangoes, we eat plums, we eat sugar apples, we eat kaimi. We eat so many different foods that our bellies are full because we know soon as we reach home and our parents here say, wash your feet and come inside. So for me, who am a very country girl, I know how to live off the land. And until we learn how to live off the land, we become enslaved when we think that money and going to the supermarket and buy these foods that they have made GMO that our system cannot even recognize.
Yeah, even this GMO of a thing you mentioned is part of the education that we need to teach our people.
Like we are right brain people. We are right brain people.
Okay.
Believe me.
Okay, guys, please. Guys, I've been live for a long time now. Let's hear from Apostle Prince, and then we bring the program to an end. Let's hear from Apostle Prince, and then that's going to be. Then I'm going to come back later in the evening. Let's hear from Apostle Prince, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome.
Uncle Roddy. Yeah, it's a quite interesting topic. I started following you when you have a conversation with one talk that went viral with this Celestial Church. So I started following you from that time. So from what I've been hearing since I just came online now, I saw that from the comment section, I tried to gather what information you are passing. It's like you are trying to come up with a group of unity, of togetherness that will strengthen the gospel to liberate people from what is gradually enslaving the whole world today in the name of...
No, I'm not creating any organization. I didn't come here. I didn't say this is people. The people are just airing their opinion, suggesting. I'm not creating any organization. Keep talking.
Okay. So I just listened to the lady. So when the other guy was trying to explain what he's trying to portray. So what I'm here is what I'm following is that I love the way you carry yourself. I love the way you preach. I love the way you talk. I love the way you educate people to making them to understand what Christianity, what religion is all about. We should not use it as kind of enslaving ourselves in every kind of angle. Because today, many people take religion and Christianity, they are together. So they are binding themselves to one particular man, one particular woman, by enslaving our hearts. But that is not what Christianity is all about. It's all about freedom. It's all about unity. It's all about preaching the gospel. It's preaching about God, preaching about salvation, not this tithe or whatever. So I just literally have to comment on that. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So, guys, does anybody still have something to say? Because I want to bring the program to an end.
Yes, I was about to add something. That when I mentioned the mindset is the foundation of everything you do. How you even dress, every day is about how you want to look. So if we are going to solve a problem like Olabisi mentioned, I don't believe money is the first thing. I believe that when we know what we are looking for, when we know what we are looking for, we should be able to develop the mechanism to know how to look for it. And all other things will begin to fall in place. Some of the things we do for our communities, we do them because we know based on objective data. So that is my thought, that anything we want to do, we need to replenish the land, we need to go back to the land. Very important. The moment we have the right education, we will know the right way to get it done. See you when you come back again later.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I have something to say. I think I understood where that lady was going to, but she never knew how she was going to express herself very well. Starting from, Africans are known for creating food, farming. That is other because we have the land to farm. Then anything we are talking about, that opinion or the idea of having people who will be donating money. How do those people trust you to donate money at the first place? That is the first question you are going to ask yourself, because when you are in a rigged system, any kind of game you are trying to play in the rigged system, nobody is going to trust you, because those people who you are donating the money to, they can wake up tomorrow and say, this finance that has been donated, I want to use for my own private use. Starting from, and anything we are doing, I think it all has to start from our government. We should also be talking about that government part, because anything we are doing, both our government system is corrupt. For me, I think every African should go back to their culture. They should go back to their culture and stop and kill this belief that their forefathers are made of evil, or their forefathers are evil, or any kind of mental slavery that has been enslaved on Africans about their forefathers. So Africans should go back to producing food. There is, when we talk about the reason why when we hear about this inflation going up, going down, all these problems we're facing is because we're not creating the food we are eating by ourselves. There is no how you can, when you are, when a country is depending on import to feed, this is a very big problem. Imagine if we are producing our food and we are eating. When you hear about inflation, dollar goes up. You have nothing to care about whether dollar goes up, whether dollar is sitting at 100,000 naira per dollar or not. You don't care, because you are producing what you are eating. We have not been made we have programmed us in such a way that we believe that that we need money for everything. We don't need money for everything. No matter where you're working, even if they are paying you 1 million naira currently in Nigeria, as long as you're not producing the food you're eating, that 1 million naira is worth nothing. That 1 million naira cannot do anything for you. You cannot keep people. It's just like a mother keeping a child at home and telling that child, don't eat outside, but there is no food in the house. It's impossible, because the child will be triggered to go and eat outside because there is nothing inside for him to eat. So I think we should first of all go back to our family. Let us be producing what we eat. This is one of our biggest problems. Let us produce what we eat and stop being dependent on all these people. Currently, see what they're bringing now. They're saying that we have to, that this GMO food, they have taken all our crops. All our crops have been stolen, and that has been taken to the seed bank. It has been taken to the seed bank. What is their agenda? To go and make these crops in a situation that they want to go and refine the crops, so that when they bring it back to you, when you plant it, once the plant has grown, once you harvest that particular plant, you can no longer, once you harvest that plant, you can no longer replant that seed. You have to go back and buy another seed. So these people have done a great job that now they want to be controlling even how we feed. That now they want to be anybody who is controlling what you eat is your master. Believe it or leave it. Anybody who controls whether you should eat or not, that person is your master. Because food, the reason why these people are envying Africa is because we have the farmland to farm. In the educational system now, if you come out and tell a girl that you're a farmer, she will see you as a very local person. She will see you as somebody that is good for nothing. Because that mentality has been put into us that farming is a very bad thing. So we should go back to farming, go back to our culture and live the way which we should go back to the life. I'm not saying that
Mr. Producer, can I ask you a question? Now,
Yeah,
all of us were
I'm
talking
open.
about going back home, making, I don't know, farm. If I ask you today to come back, will you come back? Because it all starts from us. No, if I said you should come back home today and let's start the farming, will you come back?
Brother, I have a farm. Oh. I can go and make a video of my farm. It's not a must that I must be the one there to farm the farm. I'm using my money to. I have a farmland. I have like 4 different plots of land which I farm on. I have like 4 plots of land which I pay people who farm there because I know that if my family, because I am in China, and no matter whatever my family is doing, when it comes to food, they don't ask me money for food because I already know I have farm somewhere where these people go to take what they eat. So that one is not a problem. You must not be in Nigeria for you to have a farm. It's not, I don't believe in that idea. You can be anywhere and buy a farm and be farming. It's 100%. It is not much that you must be the one to go to the farm and do the work. Once you have your money, you can do all those things. But the whole idea is you have to be producing what you eat and don't be self-dependent on importation. So that is what I have to say.
Because we have to create that Ubuntu state. Because you are, I am, because I am, you are. Then we will understand that if our neighbor eats, it is the same person who would have been our enemy, who is now our friend. So we are the ones, not just for one person to farm, but for everybody. Share the heirloom seeds. Let everybody start to plant in their backyards. And this is what I'm talking about. That is real revolution, that you can go outside and get something to eat. And not only you, but your neighbor, your friend. Let it spread. Everybody starts to put something in their backyard. There's no more market. The time has come for us to forget about this going to market stuff. Because when we go to the market, we are falling in the same noose as all of the others in front of us. Noose as all of the others in front of us. Noose as all of the others in front of us.
So, guys, I want to thank everybody who contributed to this great program. I appreciate everybody. I want to bring the program to an end. You guys are all great guys. I led one or two here this afternoon. It's already afternoon. Men have spent hours here, you know. Thank you guys for being. I'm coming back later in the evening because most of my American fans are not here. Many of them are still asleep. So I'm going to go live in some few hours on my evening program. Of course, it's going to be an interesting one. So I appreciate everyone who joined. Well, guys, if you are not following me, you follow me now. This is how we do it on our side. If you just joined us now, you can rewatch the broadcast on my YouTube page. You go to the YouTube and rewatch it. Brooklyn, Brooklyn in the house. Can and sugar. So, guys, I thank you, and we see ourselves. This is Friday, it's weekend, so it's going to be fun tonight. Okay. See you later in the day.
Thank you for having me. This is the first time I stumbled onto your.
So this is the first time you came. Okay, I've been here. This is how we roll, but not. We don't discuss. We discuss different topics here.
Okay, give thanks. Normally I'm out, but today we have no school 2 days, which was yesterday and today,
Okay.
the Jewish holiday Yom Kippur. So at 5 a.m. I'm normally awake, so it so happened that the phone was on, and I saw the live and I was just listening. It sounded interesting. So give thanks. Thank you for having me.
Thank you too. You're welcome, my sister.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys. So let me end the broadcast. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. So, guys on YouTube, see you later in the evening.
Let me see.